Music and see where we're at. Hopefully this will load shortly. There it is. I get double notifications. Thank you for the follows, guys. Appreciate you, Bowl. Ball. Noonday Demon. Great name. And of course, Berry on us as well. Welcome to the community. We did just have a clean feed. How's just disappeared on us? There it is. Well, I have to say, we should be getting drafted very shortly. Bubo, chat over and the likes of it. Ooh, that's the wrong thing. That's what we needed. That can come over here. So, Verdun versus ZENA for today. Of course, ZENA are the LIT first seed. Bit of a weird year for the Italian league. Lots of drama in terms of who's running the show, teams dropping out, lots of stuff around funding. It's all been a bit funny. Don't know ZENA super well, but I'm hoping a lot of these players have managed to deal with the trauma and drama of the year all right. Of course, on the other side, Verdun didn't win yesterday. Fumbled their mid-game. Had some issues with Devon and Danka not turning up with the lights being so bright. See whether they can step it up a bit today. Good to see you, Simi. Good to see you, Solly. Where are you? That's what I did. There we go. I can have much better. I want to see Verdun on the same page today. Exactly what I would like to see. I think an early lock, a rumble for SLT is absolutely fine. It is going to give up that Wukong over to Metroflox though. Alongside an Ambessa as well. So big dive combo there from ZENA's top jungle. This Rumble can manage it somewhat. It's a good laning matchup into pretty much everything. Ambessa is going to get shoved in pretty aggressively early. Eclipse changes things for it, but it does in general. But yeah, we'll see is the answer. I need a guess. Where's my YouTube? There we go. Now it's go on. Well, I'm not being sure. LR not on yet. LR is later on today. They are playing third. The schedule lied to us. LR will be on, as I understand it, third. Yeah, they're versus Barcelona third. So don't stress too much more. Let's see. LR third. Schedule change. Bring that back. Okay, so while I was responding to a few of those things, a couple extra things happened. We got the Trundle into the Wukong standard matchup. There are 19, if I'm right. They are indeed at 7. Yeah. Assuming things run smoothly. They were a bit slow yesterday, but again, we'll make sure we see the LR game at the very least. Corky as well for Devon. Big early skirmishing power right now for Verdant. I really like it. And take a little bit more time for Zenas to get online. I think Hui has been rising a lot more in priority than I was necessarily expecting, but it's quite a strong pick. In general. Second phase of bans. Going to get rid of Senkuk Syndra. They've already got rid of the Oriana. Good matchups into the Hui in general. Seen a little bit of things like Zoe into Hui, but Hui is actually fairly good into Zoe. Can just be very uninteractive. Kais themselves. Interesting one. You've already got the double dive combo and the follow-up of the Hui, so I think that makes some sense. Hey, Grimmy, good to see you. Nice mate. Where's that one from? Ah, well, it's from Crim. That would make some sense. In fact, it's in fact their own emote. You've got cool emotes, Grimmy. We'll get a warning when the players go live on Twitch, we won't miss it. Fair. I've got timers off on one side to see when things are starting as well. So don't worry, I'll keep you guys in the loop as well. EMEA Masters time. Hell yeah, Sylv. Good to see you, Nivus. Bard. I wonder whether they just keep focusing down Zenkux. I mean, Tora is a good bard. Gives him a lot of lane prio, but I think this is just going to be a Rel pick, no? Unless you fourth pick Rel here. That or Tora goes for Nico. Which I think is also just fine. And we give him a lot of lane prio. They'll be a little low in terms of tank. The only thing I will say is I am very surprised Verdant didn't ban the Alistair. Because Alistair is the one tank you can draft into Trundle. Can't steal Alistair's stats. And at the minute, ZENA don't really have tank. They've got Wukong, who's what he is, and Bastard, so you can't really draft frontline properly into Trundle. It's one of the reasons that Trundle has basically been an opening move, like a chess gambit. You say, I'm going to do this to force you to draft like this. And you can therefore take the value of Trundle down, but it forces you into a different archetype of draft, which you're not always comfortable with. They're going to fourth pick a Jinx, interestingly, and leave up the support for last pick. I think you could have locked Alistair here and kept the Jinx a lot more secret. I'm not sure I like the Jinx here. I feel like she's going to get mashed by the Corki in lane, and Rumble Trundle is not going to be fun for her to deal with. One of my top 5 teams this EMEA. Lost Returns, obviously. KCB and... Oh, bloody hell. I would have said Gentlemates, but they've just lost Empidos. Hang on, let me give me a second to look at these things. I feel like I'm missing a team. It's really obvious. Who am I missing? Who am I missing? Galleons. Galleons. I think Galleons, LFL2, very scary. Xerxes Ragnar, Zoelis, crazy core. But we'll get back to talking about top teams once I've seen a couple of these picks. You've now got the Yone for Senkux with the Alistair. There's your dive combo. It's a good pairing with the Rumble. You don't have the most CC here, so you're very reliant on good pillars and very good Alistair ults, but you side lane well, and you can punish this Jinx like nobody's business. I think the Alistair makes sense in that it prevents that being an option for Luis, who has had to go Nautilus, and Nautilus is going to have their stats shredded every fight by this Trundle, and they'll have an absolute misery. Faster Pog, hell yes. That should be a really fun team as well, actually. 113 in Chocolate, Legolas is always a blast to watch. I'm quite looking forward to seeing them later. I think versus LR should be a fun one, because obviously they were the team that did actually take a series off LR, which has been very rarely done. Hey, Vader, good to see you. Vader Benjamin. Right, we've got ourselves some drafts. I've got 2 questions I need to answer. One, which will be what I think about these drafts, and 2, who are my top teams. To do that, I'm just going to get myself a cup of tea, make sure I'm good to go for the game. I just need to make sure that the thing I've got cooking is going to be just fine. Torre Alistair? Absolutely. Should be excited. Give me a second. I'll move cameras and stuff back first. And we'll go from there. Beautiful. 1 second, guys. I will return. Hopefully with a drink. Which I should have done earlier, but I was busy cooking, so I didn't end up not fainting like I nearly did yesterday.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Hello, folks. We're back. I cheated and went for Red Bull because I want to be here in time. Not gonna lie. Oh, okay, so let's have a chat about. Well, hello, camera. You frying a bit? No, you're good. Okay. Why the Kit Kat logo not showing?
Explosive face melter.
Should be. We've just got rid of the green screen thing. Oh, well, whatever. It's their choice.
Minions have spawned.
So, Verdant, really good skirmishing team. Team fighting's a little harder because their actual CC and frontline is a little limited. This is the delay, not really. I think there is a slight one, but it's not major. Straight off the clean feed. So whatever the clean feed's on is what we've got. Thanks for streaming the Masters games. Absolutely. Happy to be here. So, if ZENA get to 5v5, third dragon, everything's fine. They've got Jinx Wei with Wukong, even Ambessa. Much easier from front to back. Much scarier carries from much further away. And I'd argue their CC pick is a little bit easier as well between Incidental CC from Wei, Wukong all in, Nautilus all in, Ambessa follow-up. 4-minute delay as far as I know. The players have that delay and they match it with the game winner. That would make sense. I think also they do this to prevent stream sniping because it's online, which would make sense, right? Because this is competitive integrity stuff. They don't want people to have ward timers and dragon setups leakable, basically. Sam Cunningham saying 7-minute delay, which would also make some sense. Either way, there is a bit of a delay, which, in fairness, makes some sense. God, this Jinx skin looks so janky. Is this the arcane one? I quite like the VFX. Though I agree, the animations aren't fantastic, I think. It's the gacha one, yeah. I think Verdant, if they can get the Trundle rolling off some good lane prio from like the Rumble and the Corki to set up Senko for success, which means you can set up Dan for success, life feels pretty good for Verdant, but I do need to see them make things happen early. Their team fighting's not bad. You can punish an immobile Jinx, you can punish an immobile Hui with a lot of your very scary ults. Rumble, Yone jumping on someone is pretty nasty. But it is reliant on Torre and Danka being really good with their target selection. And trying to make plays like this early. Does Devon want to go over the wall? He possibly could. Would have been to Nautilus front. Anyone know where I can watch PXS versus Galleons? I actually don't, I'm afraid. At least in English, I genuinely don't know. Most of the English guys, I'm pretty sure George will be doing the same. Trouble for the non-initiated. She'll be doing Verdant as well. NLC Cast is doing NLC games. Is what it is, guys. If I find out or if someone knows, I'll let you know, Nikki. Unfortunately, with 4 games happening simultaneously, we can't look. If this game ends super fast, I'll tell you what, we'll have a look and see what's going on. But it is what it is, unfortunately. Archfiend eats a lot of damage, but it's fine. Galleons isn't playing till 7 now. Might well be, actually. I have to say, the scheduling's been a little bit all over the place, so... Reload this thing. Change that around. So allegedly, it's happening now, according to a lot of the wikis, but I think that's clearly wrong. I think the 5 PM games are happening at 7 now. Yeah, they changed it. There we go. That's more like it. Oh. Yeah, we're fine. Good barrier. Pedicolo has like no mana here, actually. I think this Nautilus is going to have to flash or heal. Pedicolo still have the barrier. That's unfortunate. Yeah, this is the problem with trading onto supports, right? They are much happier trading their health bar, whereas the AD carries aren't. But yeah, Galleons are now on at 7. Unfortunately, obviously, here we'll be watching the Lost Returns Barca game. So, But yes, you're right. Basically, the matches that were on at 7 and the matches that were on at 5 were flipped on a lot of the wikis to begin with today, which caught me off guard until I double checked. Main swap. Barrier and heal traded. Pedicolo gets to pick up a bit of that way. But hey, double longsword and tear back. Not the end of the world for Devon. These are our 0-1 teams here as well. Both of them lost yesterday. Verdant, again, we were a little disappointed from what we saw. We expected better. I still expect better. We'll see whether that does improve today. If you need to know, I need the correct schedule tomorrow. Sammy, that would be wonderful. If you wouldn't mind, that would be really, really helpful. Thank you, dude. It is much appreciated. Thank you for the follow. One Zidati. Ooh, nice little Q3 there. Bit of Mortal Steel. Pillar onto Archfiend. Not going to be forced to ult. I wonder whether we might see an ult to buffer through a little bit of the damage, but no. Okay. But yeah, basically, because I have to wait until the sheets are updated to get the schedule at the minute. And the sheets are getting updated quite late. Which means putting up schedules for Onivia and stuff then gets a bit funny. Because it's like, I don't have information at 3:50. What's happening? Does get a little annoying. So, as this stands... Ow, good chunk there from SLT. I mean, SLT was always a Rumble player. Even when he was back in LEC, he was a big Rumble enjoyer. Archfiend, oh, buddy, you are very lucky that second burst. Electro Harpoon didn't hit. Otherwise, things would have been rough. It's actually insane that Vernon's played 2 first seeds in a row. Yeah, I actually think yesterday could have been playable if they hadn't messed up mid-game. But we had those conversations yesterday. If you go back and watch the VODs, you shall see. In fact, probably this evening, I'm going to try and get some of those VODs downloaded and snipped up for YouTube. Okay, steal on the blue buff. Metroflox maybe forced to Cyclone. Will. That's a lot of damage onto Darenko, who has to flash out. The pillar's good. Unbound Soul. Flash, headbutt, pole. Senko, fate seal. Ooh, nice angle. And nice kill. Equalizer after SLT flash. Yes, baby. Very necessary staggering blows, or Inza dies as well. However, 2 for none, and you get the blue buff back. And grubs are here as well. Fabulous. Fabulous skirmishing. That's what we're after. Got a bit worried for Danker there for a second, but the flash out was good enough. Yeah, schedule came out at 10:30 UK time last night. Oh my god, that is late. We got 15 minutes to pick side as well, which was kind of insane how late it was. That's a rough time to pick. I get it. It's on a really tight schedule with, you know, drawing at the end of the day into this. But, so, I mean, games are finishing at 9:10. You then got to do the draw. You then got to get the info out. But that's still, you need that as efficient as possible. But I suppose that's just the bye blow of having to draw on the same day that games happen, and games are happening in the evening. And finishing at something like 10 CEST, which means you're not getting draws done till, and then things scheduled and thrown out till 11 CEST, which means people aren't getting info until like 11 at the earliest, so 10 UK time, which is rough. But I'm not actually sure how you make that faster, if you know what I mean, with the scheduling. Because unless you do it rapidly at the end of the game. But I don't know the processes that Webedia and stuff are going through for it. So. Inza did not enjoy that. Yeah, okay. Look, Yone's gotten through the early lane. Now has Vamp Scepter and Boats and 2 assists. Fine. They could just pre-draft it away where they need the winner. Where they just do winner-loser draft without needing to know which team won. True. Oh, no, you can't. Because rematches aren't allowed in Swiss stage. You can't. So they have to be careful because it's a you have to account for the fact that there is a possibility of rematches needing to be redrawn. So it's not as simple as that. So you're right, that would be the efficient way to do it. But you're not, because of the rematch rules, things get tricky. SLT gets a fair amount of damage and will die for this. But I think Metroflox should as well. Archfiend's leaving. Yeah, okay, 1 for 1. Jungler gets 1. Aside. You understand this is ERLs, right, Juncheng? Just double checking. This is tier 2. Just double checking. Ooh, nice angle. The fear makes things interesting. Pulverized out from under the turret. Oh, very low. Inza. All right, you know what? Half a brilliant play from Senko Centauri. Half a brilliant play. And then Inza goes, yeah, but what if I paint on your face? And Senko goes, fair play. That's not bad, actually. I wasn't expecting the Spirally Despair to be quite that crazy. What if I paint on your face? Quay is a painter, T2. There was no... There's no ulterior meaning. Get your mind out of the gutter. Painted with pain. Should just have a main broadcast. Yeah, they probably should, but that would involve having more budget, and they don't. So there is no broadcast for Swiss stage. Is the answer. Well, there's the pulverized back. Staggering blows. Senkus doesn't have Fate Seal. Will flash back. Hook goes well wide. They could potentially re-engage this. Senkus gets to heal a bit. How long until Fate Sealed? Both German teams winning right now? Hell yeah. How did Prime League do yesterday? Ooh, nicely done, Torre. Very disrespectful. Moose is going to have to flash over the pillar. Alright, Juncheng. Last warning with the random insults. I'm assuming you've got money on some of these games and you're annoyed that teams aren't. And I'm not here to tell you not to be annoyed. I am telling you to be civil and to be respectful. Otherwise, I'll just ban you. I don't have to say it again, alright? And if you can't just do basic human decency, then maybe don't spend money.
Fury with your skin and face.
I don't know what to tell you. There are Saudi teams in the Euros. There are. There are EMEA teams, right? Like GK are a really good team. Who was the other one? NGX were pretty solid for a while as well. Have you seen any teams with the Swiss stage? Yeah, it's like 30 teams. It's a massive Swiss stage. It's really cool. I'm quite. I just wish it was covered more, to be honest, more officially at least. And I say this as someone who was on the broadcast. I'm not on the broadcast this year again, but a real shame. I was on it. 2023, 24. 3 years in a row. Most of my professional casting career, I've done EMEA Masters. So, first year, I've not. I've cast, like, something like 3 or 4 times the amount of EMEA Masters finals I have NLC finals. Posture check. Yes, Salk. Hey, Konue. Good to see you again. Giant X lost to Partisan. Yes, they did. Partisan played well. We caught a bit of that game. It was a close run thing earlier on, and then Partisan came back a little later. That's a good Electro Harpoon slow. And he misses the public execution. That's a very dead Ambassador. Nicely done. Torre's been making a lot of really good moves here. I like Torre in general. He was my favorite support in NLC this split. And that's no shame on people like Reckless, who are obviously also excellent. But I think Torre was a real joy to watch. I've always enjoyed watching this guy play. He does sometimes start doing hold my beer plays as games go on. Okay. Scouting mission. Gonna TP behind. Ooh, this gets messy. Torre with the TP as well. Gonna force a Cyclone. Beer, TP of their own. Torre doesn't have his own flash, so I think he's just dead. As I said, hold my beer plays. You can do that if you have ult. If you don't, bit much. Cost them a flower, a teleport on Archfiend. Probably fine. Still not a great game state for ZENA. And already gotten the early objectives and the kills. They got feet to spend. I didn't watch it, but I never would have expected it. I think that's probably fair. It was a decent game. Let me go find Partisan's roster again. There's a couple players on there I think are slightly underrated. Because again, they're coming from EBL, and sometimes people sleep on EBL, but hang on, give the clean feed a second. There we go. It'll do this. Wait for the audio. Wait for the audio. There we go. Better. Second time's the charm. All right, we're back. Fridays always get me. Yeah, because I like... Look, Partisan of pool 4. Actually, I think I said Archfiend. Flash from SLT. Flash from SLT. Flash of the Eagle. Oh! Needed the repudiation. Torre just goes for the kill now. Headbutt, Pulve, ult. Boom. Boom. Mess with a bull. You get the horns. Luis can go looking for this hook. Metroflox is here as well. EP behind. Good Electro Harpoon. That's going to force an ult out of Metroflox. Headbutt. Pulverize goes wide, but forces Metroflox to backstep, and that makes him a dead man because Fate Sealed can land. Luis will now down to the turret as well. Senkux can rebind Soul. Very nice, Verdun. Can someone explain the scoring to me? Yes, I can. So, CMC, welcome to League of Legends. Glad to have you with us. If you look at the top of your screen, in fact, I'll move my camera around. We'll do a little guided tour, guys, for the non-League of Legends here. Boop, 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 boop. As we can see up here, this is the kill score. Currently, Verdun have 10 kills. ZENA have 3. Kills are not, in fact... We've got a pause. Even better timing. Right. Kills are, in fact, it's worth noting, not winning the game. You win the game by destroying the enemy base. Kills do, however, earn you gold. And as we can see... No, wrong thing. Also, SLT damage. Goddamn. As we can see over here, big gold lead right now compared to this. Generally speaking, if you ever get above, particularly this early on, something like 3,000 gold early on, the game is very heavily in one side's favor. If you're starting to get towards 5,000, 6,000 gold, it's a very heavy lead and very, very significant at whatever point in the game. 10,000 gold and beyond is generally considered unrecoverable. With that said, we have seen comebacks from that perspective, and there are lots of other things that go into it. How good is the scaling on one team? How well is a team playing? Is it late enough that gold really doesn't mean that much anymore? All of those kinds. But right now, we're seeing lots of damage compared particularly to poor old Archfiend. SLT has been having a great game. We've already been chatting about Torre, how well he's playing. Gold lead, objective lead, as we can see, again, something else to keep your eyes on. These little symbols here are the number of dragons one team has, and currently it's 2 dragons to none. So that's a big deal as well. So you've got dragons, so neutral objective advantage, which give you bonuses as well. Gold advantage, kill advantage, damage is in their favor as well. You can see the gold graph going up nice and heavily as well. That's wonderful going. And yes, scaling from Jinx and Hui is solid, but I don't think it's enough to recover. Little bit of a brief overview on what it means to look at a League of Legends scoreboard and have an idea about which team is winning. There are nuances. As we said, scaling, champion matchups, team matchups, all those things go into it. But you are really looking at those 3 things. Number 1 leader will always be gold. The easiest metric to keep an eye on. If a team is like 2,000 gold ahead, they're pretty ahead. 3,000 gold is big. 5,000 gold is these guys are likely winning. 10,000 plus is this game is over. Then there are neutral objectives. So who's got dragons? Those little symbols there. Heralds and grubs and stuff. That's a bit more nuanced, but they make a big difference too. And the last one that's kind of really is much more a litmus test than anything else is kills. Kills give you gold, and so that will affect the gold number. And often the team that's winning has more kills, but not always. So yeah, XP is a big one as well. It is, absolutely. But I think T2, that if I'm going to start chatting about XP, and maybe we will at some point, maybe if CMC sticks around for long enough today, we can have that conversation. But I think that is probably a step deeper than is necessarily what we need to look at. You're not going to get that off the scoreboard, like at least at the top of the screen. Exactly, Damakin. Gold buys you items. Items give you power. Power means you fight better, which gives you more kills, which gives you more gold, which gives you more items, which means it's easier to destroy things, which means it's easier to destroy the base. Like, it all snowballs and feeds into each other. But you're right. What does gold do? It allows you to buy the big, shiny murder weapons. Baus is playing today, so we'll probably have to talk about XP over kills at some point. You're not wrong. We had a prime example of that just yesterday. So, you know what? I hear you. We will have to come and have that conversation a little later, I agree. That's not bad, considering I was putting my camera back blind. That's pretty much spot on, by the way. I'm very proud with my spacing there. I'll take that. Where did my YouTube chat go? I lost you. Watching for the Philippines. Hell yeah, welcome on in. Partisan have a great roster. They really do. We were chatting about Partisan a little earlier, weren't we? We're just back in live. Herald gets dropped mid. Dragon's live. We're probably about to have a bit of a fight here, so we will hold on the Partisan conversation just after. Oh, Archfiends. Yeah, just about okay, but that's rough. And doesn't have TP, and they can Redemption to heal people back up again. Yeah, it's a 45. Rumble's just managed to get a roam through bot side river. I think if ZENA can test this now, they're about to have a really horrible time. SLT, be very quiet. It's ZENA hunting season. Oh, he gets out of the bush. They know he's there. The problem is, what are you going to do about it? This Rumble is going to hurt so bad. They've jumped. Danker just died. Okay, Verdant. That's a... Verdant and crap objective setups. Oh my god, guys. Should still be fine because Torre is a goat and finds a ridiculous headbutt pulverize. But, my god, how do you let Danker die like that? That is ridiculous. Good flash from Devon. Doesn't quite kill the Hui, but they will kill everyone else. Like, that should have been a lot cleaner. Danker should never have been allowed to just sit there and die. Also, he had flash. You just have to flash the hook. Yeah, Verdant have very greedy objective setups. It's like, look, we're going to go on a 3-man flank. But if you're going to do that, you actually have to be respectful of people collapsing on the flank. And that happens a lot. And SLT was your flanker, and then he doesn't pull off the flank. I don't know. What do you think of Barcelona's chance with 1-1-3 at jungle versus LR? I think Barcelona have actually got a fairly solid squad. Now, I've not watched a lot of LVP this split, so I would have to chat to people like Noah to have a better idea about it. That said, 1-1-3 Chocolad, Legolas, Whiting, and White Knight is a very solid roster. Very solid roster. And again, Chocolad, Legolas in particular, solid carries. I think Legolas can sometimes be a little bit Rusty Sniper-esque in that they play so aggressively and so close to the wire. They sometimes are a little disrespectful with the leads they gain and can die more often than I'm comfortable with. But yes. But I still think that potentially it should be a good match. I'm excited for it. I still favor Lost Returns, of course. However, this is a squad, largely, that beat LR not so long ago. So we'll see. As for the Partisans conversation, Excellent in particular is really good. I've really rated him from AD carry for a long, long time. It's a solid roster. I don't know Whistle and Chan, their Korean import. Where did they play? Whistle's got fabulous hair. Proper sweet. He was on the Freak of Freaks Academy, right. And he played for NASA for a bit as well. Okay. Hang on, Atakan's happening. We'll have a conversation later. Atakan's down. TP in. This TP sucks. Equalizer's going to tag both carries. SLT gets to walk on forward. Archfiend eats an Electro Harpoon. Yeah. Okay, it's over. I don't know where Pericola was thinking he was going with that flash. Depth charge to try and buy some space. That Electro Harpoon is a pixel off hitting. We're going to put up with the goaded remote spamming 1-1-3. The thing is, if it tilts you, it tilts enemy players. And I'm not going to lie. I am here for just getting in people's heads. You take that on. If you're going to annoy people with emote spamming, do it. It might not make you the most fans of people back home. But let's be real. If you can get into the enemy heads, you take sledging. You sledge as hard as you can. I'm all for it. I play with the most muties. Yeah, true enough. Metro could have just finished Alistair to make it a 5-on-4. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, don't get me wrong. Alistair's got heal, had redemption, had ult. It would have been not the quickest. But I think ZENA are just desperate at this point. It's not getting any easier. The pillar's going to delay the exit. Bonks are coming on down. Pedicolo has not, in fact, got flash because he burned it in the last play unwisely. So he's dead there as well. Sorry, you got caught out by using the viewer word, T2. Basically, you get a lot of bots coming saying, do you want to buy viewers? I want to buy some viewers. And so the bots have just started saying, yeah, don't say viewers. So you got caught by the auto mod there. Apologies for that one. Bosses out to the back. Yeah, true. I was still, yeah, for the record, viewers got pinged is what happened. Problem is when all the players mute in, but the viewers don't, the ones seeing it. I mean, it is what it is. I never found it that bothersome. I can get why it annoys some people. You know? I think in the end, 1-1-3 and his team should not care. Maybe you just mute emotes if you're his teammate, and then you try and get into enemies' heads. For that one person who forgot to mute emotes, and you just get them annoyed. I think it's perfectly fine. Oh, third Yone with vision control. Gonna keep doing this. Yeah, you couldn't draft tanks into Alistair. Eat burst damage from ahead. This is so much better from Verdant, with the exception of that dragon fight. So much better from Verdant. GG. Right, Verdant go to 1-on-1. ZENA got clapped. I think SLT is my MVP for this. No. Maybe Torre. I think SLT had a really good game. But I actually think Torre has been the architect of pretty much every lane getting ahead. So I think actually it's Torre who's MVP with honorable mentions to SLT. For me, anyway. With ZENA's currently, I'm not seeing the Italian League getting a spot in the playoffs. Unfortunately, I think I agree. I think this might be a rough tournament for LIT. Shout out to Kenren. Pull one out for the bearded boy. Let me check where timers are at so we know how games are going. Where actually is that time? Did I have it on this one? I did have it on this one. Okay. Well, bit of a chunk. I think this might be it, guys. LR versus Barca should be a banger. That is the hope. That is the hope. 7 p.m. for that one. I wonder why I suddenly had a shoulder pad and realized it was just my microphone. So I moved it over. Like, oh, that's what it is. Not sure about Isuba. Neither am I. They're an EMEA Masters staple. Who's on their roster? We're kind of doing this kind of side questy stuff at the minute, guys, because this game is... It's over. Hit Point Masters. Czech Republic, Slovakia combo. Oh, it's Ruisson. Ruisson, that's the one. I need Solari to tell me how to pronounce it again. And Severo. Where do I know Severo from? Oh, I mean, he's Suba. Orbit Anonymous. Orbit Anonymous. Yeah, there's some solid enough players there. I'm not sure they make it out of Swiss, or if they do, I think it will be a bit of a slog. But I think they can definitely get some wins here. They won't be going home wins. GG, Verdant. It's a great game. It's a great game. I say as Suncooks dives a fountain bow style. Is there an actual channel for these games in English? There is me. If you follow Initialise casts on Twitch and YouTube, I'm obviously on Onivia's YouTube as well. I'm doing what I can to cover this, but there is no official broadcast in English until playoffs. Metro, that was clutch for his third kill a little bit. So it's me or bust, I'm afraid, at the minute. Let's change over, shall we? All look at the post-game stats. I mean, SLT. Yeah. Yeah, that'll do. He hit some really nasty equalizers. Thank you for the follow, Nosfa. Last time, not Onivia. Onivia is occasionally on here with his face. But no, I'm Initialise. I happen to collaborate with Onivia. I do some cool things. Because they didn't play Galio into Rumble. Yeah, I mean, I will say Rumble's laning phase is less unbeatable than it once was. It used to be that you ran Galio into Rumble or you didn't lane at all. These days, I think things like Ornn and Sion and Ambessa to an extent if you play it well. There's a couple other champions as well that do fine early enough into Rumble that you're okay and you can lane swap out of it for a bit. Because basically, Rumble's early damage, like levels 1 through 3, is a lot less good than it used to be in terms of being able to get wave shove. You don't guarantee the wave shove you used to get it as well. But anyway, let's go change feed so we're ready for our next game. What are we looking for feed-wise? 1 second, guys. That is the wrong set of tabs. That's very unhelpful, Sam. This is the one. Okay. Feed 1. KCB versus Gentlemates coming up. Should be a good match, this. Again, for those who don't know, by the way, unfortunately, Empiros is ill. He's not able to play, so he's out for EMEA Master, which is a real shame. I have a lot of love for the man formerly known as Jax Blank. Was a really great player. Alongside Vladdy, actually, in NLC. Came up to play on Riddle. Did a really great job there, but Empiros was once known as Jax Blank. I was really excited to see him play again. But, yeah, unfortunately, is unwell. It's a real shame. So, send him a lot of love. They've had to get a replacement in. It does mean likely that KCB will come... Well, not likely. They come in as favourites. They weren't already. With that addition, it's a frustrating one. It's a frustrating one. It is what it is. I just spent €241 on Magic. Damn. What did you order? I'm changing the feeds. Give it a second. There we go. Sorted. Gentlemates versus KCB coming up. Let me update my title. And I will run some ads so we don't get them in game. That would be nice. And I will return very shortly. I'm going to make sure I've got a cup of tea and some water to go with. Why not live on Twitch? I am live on Twitch. Follow me in Initialise Cast, Kianwan. I'm on there. I'm just collaborating with Onivia, so you can see us over there as well. If you look here, you'll find me on Twitch. Initialise Casts, you'll find me there. Thanks for your commentary. That's no problem. Thank you. Appreciate it. Doing our best. Random Citrus, thank you for the follow. Nosfar, Zero AC, Perlini, Jupiter Alice, Twitch.tv, Stelis. Thank you for all that. And Sal was telling me to watch my posture as well. Sorry, Sal. I sort of did it for like 2 seconds and then didn't. She's looking after me. Right then. Did the Verdun win? They did in very dominant fashion. Opposito. Right, let me go with that cup of tea before I miss the opportunity to. When is our next draft? In an amount of time. Wow, they finished these ones quick. Back in a second. Oh, I return. Tease broom. The Twitch link in the comments wrong? Is it? I'm hoping not. Let me double check. No, it's correct. I'm Initialise Cass, however. So I'm the second link on there. I'm the second link on there. So it is correct. Unless they've misspelled it with an S or with a Z or something, it happens occasionally. No, that's correct. Oh. LR versus Bar is going to be an absolute banger. I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so. I know obviously it's LVP third seed, but I still think obviously with the history from this year, it should be really good fun. I still think Chekalad, Legolas, 113, great players. White Knight and White in a stalwarts of the EMEA Masters and ERL as well, so I'm sure they'll be up for some fun here as well. Obviously, LR are going to come in as favorites. Obviously, they are. That shouldn't surprise us. However, that is not to say they don't have their own capacity for. Screen's about to turn off. No power saving mode right now. I need you to work. But yes, for the record, it'd be. The Italian league downfall is a tragedy. It really is. It is. I mean, obviously, there's been some issues with the TO that led to a lot of teams leaving. And like, you were looking at people like Matchco actually becoming legitimate ERL threats. They were making deep runs in playoffs. Anytime, Nick. I'm still in the middle of making a few of my own videos to get some play-by-play stuff up there as well. So I'll send the word on to Alex if you're enjoying them. There's some good content in there, for sure. There'll be some overlap, right? Because I'm doing it from the play-by-play perspective. It's often very similar. That'll be it. Sentry just won as well? Hell yeah. So. Hopefully enough interest to VOD together Super VOD reviews. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. It really would be. Here's hoping. Thank you, by the way, for the follows. Kai Chaos, Zlaxsteel, Draken, and Dimitri Mourinho. Fun name. Appreciate you all for tuning in. See what we're at on timers here. Where are we at on time? 30 seconds, apparently. So not long at all. Do you think EMEA NLC could actually compete in EMEA next year if Lost Patronus leave? Probably. We've been able to do that for years, right? We were finalists for years and years and years. Would we have as dominant a team as LR? Probably not. Will we still have good teams? I think so. It's just a question of to what level. Because one of the reasons why the LFL has been strong for a long time is actually they've got a lot of good teams and a lot of good players want to go play in the LFL. NLC was a bit of a lightning in the bottle this year, so we'll need to see whether what And you've got the range advantage, because obviously you've got two of your carries are melee range in the Gwen and the Yone. However, couple things here for KCB. If they're in the river first, Gentlemate's having to come through the Braum and the Maokai into the waiting jaws of saplings and Yone turnaround and stuff, and Braum Fissure and stuff is very, very nasty. And I think you're going to have better side lane threats as the game goes on. Yone and Gwen in 1v1s, in 2v2s, are likely going to be more scary than Cassante and Azir on the whole. However, if they are not at objectives first, and it just comes down to a straight front to back, Gentlemate, I think I'm going to give them the advantage, because I think Smolder Azir range advantage is going to be very significant. And KCB's ability to pull the trigger is not that great. You can throw out Maokai ultimate, and you all stand behind the Cassante who presses W, and you get nothing. And then what do you have as an engage option? Weird Braumel angle, weird Yone flank. Kind of it. Thank you all for the follows there, by the way. I appreciate you. Ricky and Pocket Aces. Nice start there for Mainter. Who, of course, has been rumoured for LEC for years at this point. Him and Ragnar have been two of the bigger LFL carry tops for a little while, and both have been waiting for that opportunity to step up. See what happens in the off-season. I have no insight there, but see how they play at EMEA Masters is often a... LEC scouting is not the best. There's a lot of, oh, this person's being looked at. Right, everyone's going to look at him. And that rumour spreads so everyone looks at this player. And it means that not many teams are the best at independent thought. And it means that your performances at EMEA Masters in particular, and LFL helps because people do watch a bit of LFL for Scout. And so Mainter and Ragnar have got a better spot on that. However, what it means is if you want teams at LEC level to acknowledge you, a good performance here matters. LFL 1 and 3 going against each other is a big deal. Right, let me go get that cup of tea that's been brewing for the last couple minutes, and I'll be good to go. No one's died, good. Got myself some fresh English breakfast. Nice to see Yone. I prefer him over mages like Annie and Oriana. Yeah, I think he is also one of the few pseudo-viable AD mid laners. We've not got a lot of them in the pool at the minute. I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I think if we want AD, part of the reason we don't see as many AD mids is AP junglers aren't that fantastic. And making melee champions viable mid lane is tricky because they have to contend with the laning might of control mages who are just better, have better early items, have better early lane control. And a bit of a fight happening here. Okay, Maokai got the Scuttle Crab. Oh, Braum passive, Braum passive. Oh, Yukino's dead. No, good over the wall. Oh, Aika, really good auto. I think the flash out might be good. Slowq's going to have to rebind his soul here soon, and that's going to suck. It's a 3v4. Yeah, goodbye. Slowq still gets stunned. Comp's going to get the auto down. Oh, KCB. Oh, no. I thought Braum passive was going to do it. It's not. Oh, dear. Kill for Azir. Smolder shins out. How many stacks does Smolder get off? Hang on, let me just move my camera here. It's not even 5 minutes, and you've nearly got the first upgrade for Smolder. That is rough. I'm gonna have to move my camera semi-regularly, or just sort of like twist the chair. So that's how we're gonna check Smolder Stacks, just me rotating the chair. And Mainta's down flash too, and Yukino, and X-Kick, and Piero, and Mainta. Everyone is down flash. Everyone but Comp has burned their movement summoner spell at this point. That is a big deal. That, as they say, is a bit of an oof. 1,300 gold lead of 5 minutes. Yeesh. And Smolder gets the back for double longsword and a cull. At any reasonable level of play, this is a game-winning advantage for Gentleman. You have gotten your scaling carries with early advantages where they are unlikely to let go, and they are into champions that are matching your scaling. So it's not like they're going to get an earlier spike with which to turn things around. Because there is sometimes where, like, you give up these kills, like, well, it's all right, we've still got Lee Sin, Draven, Pike. It's like, okay, it worked. First game we went wrong. We can just do it again. And yeah, like, yes, it's bad that they lost early. Oh dear, you want to snowball. But there's still this world where, actually, you're still going to have this spike of power at 10 minutes or whatever, where you can look to right the ship. You're going to have to right the ship. Otherwise, it's a complete disaster, but still. The problem here is you are double scaling comps where the enemy scaling is going to be as good, if not better, than yours. Mulder is the whole thing. And you've given them early gold. Like, you now have to overperform when your windows within which to have a good option to do that are just so limited. The sub just solos Mainta? Potent! Alright. I see the name wasn't a lie. Bloody hell, son. Cassante's copy pasta? Anyone got it to hand? No one show Showmaker. It will disturb his peace. Smolder ult kind of sucked, but that's okay. Piero survives. Stand behind me, he's alright. Emperor subs out, having injured his elbow. With, like, no notice. Potent comes in and immediately solo kills Mainta. Mainta of all top laners. Oh, dear. Bro, Potent is really good. I don't actually know Potent that well. Full disclosure. In fact, let's do a little bit of Google. Obviously, I wasn't expecting to see him. Okay, for obvious reasons. Potent. Bit of a Google. Where have you played? So obviously, I know he's a Fiora player. He was on Job Life, huh? And he's Spirit Shonen. Okay. He's not been playing. He's only been playing a year or so, hasn't he? How were his Spirit Shonen? They were. Are they LFL Div 2? Okay. Wow. Bold to get picked up from LFL Div 2, but I suppose there's some rules with who you can sub in on short notice. For competitive integrity fronts. So I can see how that might happen. Huh. Potent's team recently relegated BDS Academy. Wow. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, there'll be rules in terms of who you can sub from what leagues on short notice. That's probably part of it. But having just sent BDS Academy to the Shadow Realm. All right, Potent. You had to ban his Fiora, because that's what he's known for. So Potent has potential, says SLR. First off, boo. Second of all, my guy's going for it again. Gets the flash in the ult. I think he can keep going. Oh, Mainta doesn't have a hallowed mist. Bloody hell. Needed that skip and slash. Question to chat, by the way. What's the pronunciation for Zichi? Is it Zichi? Ditchy? Ooh, bloody hell. Oh, hang on. Slow Q. Nah, he's alright. Okay. I saw the fake sealed angle. I'm not going to lie. Zishi? Because obviously my mind is going to, like, Vizichachi types of pronunciations. Not like casting is my job. 3 grubs for dragon. It's fine. And actually, Taking grubs away from a Yone and a Gwen, I think is probably quite valuable. Makes their side link a lot less good. Slowkey's dead. What are you doing there, bro? Bit lazy tracking of the jungle. 202 Yone now as well, who is... This next back from Yone is going to be really significant. Ooh, X-Kick is going to have to flash. Burn Ghost as well. Double summoners, and you just picked up 3 grubs, and the AD carry has to leave. They're going to get at least 2 plates here. If I was the Shinta, I would be skipping Gromp and going to just sit top and force a rotation. 60. Okay. Ah, I see you. 60. Yeah, okay. Is he Danish? Before I use a Danish pronunciation, is he Danish? Is he no idea if he's Danish? You understand how that might not be helpful. She from Entwu, okay. He is for sure not. Okay, thank you very much, Emil. Yeah, I appreciate your insight, Blacksteel. However, Yukino is so dead. Oh my day. The man whose name we are struggling to pronounce is popping off. And everyone else can't say his name because they're dying too quick. It's like... Maybe I should have to sort of pronounce it letter by letter. Z-I-C-S-S-I. Z-I-C-S-S-I. Da-da-da-da-da, Mickey Mouse. That's what I'm thinking. It's the Mickey Mouse theme song. Oh, my days. Can you tell I was a Disney kid growing up? Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Zushi. I mean, yeah, he's French, right? So I'm imagining Zushi. But I don't actually know. I'll message some LFL friends and see whether they have any info. Is this best of 1 or best of 3? It's best of 1, Itadori. Best of 3 for qualification or elimination series. So once you get to 3 wins or to 3 losses, your next match then is a best of 3 and will be until you are either eliminated or qualified. Zixi. I'd spell it Zixi. Okay. Or Zixi. Okay. I'm going to go with Zixi until I hear otherwise. And I'm happy to be proven wrong. When does Lost Returners play? They play at 7 p.m. Bazooka. Use Google Translate and set it to French and hear it pronounced. Maybe we'll do that in the break. That's not a bad idea. Hang on. We just go back. Oh, slow Q. That's a little bit. He's going to get the kill. Probably Wake gets to slide away. I need to bring my octaves down a little bit. That's probably a bit much. French. Assuming it means something in French here, guys. I don't... Nowhere to hide. Zitzi is how it sounds. It's apparently from French Google Translate. Zitzi. Okay, I can see it with the... Sir. This is the reason I asked, guys. Ooh, that's not a bad shuffle away, but Brawn passive, Flash of Flash, has to rebind Soul. You're kind of okay with that as Acre. 2 people's time, Flash of Flash is a little bit scary, but not the end of the world. Verdo to hit that root probably would have been a kill for Acre. Yeah. Yeah, agreed. I mean, it's still 6-0 in kills. Potent's now mids. I think this Potent kid could be about to make a real name for himself in this tournament. If he's playing like this against KCB, oh baby. Also, I'm not going to lie, Exakick is down 30 CS to this Smolder now. Can't quite get the kill. Throwing out the new KC emote, very nice. Oh, Main is so dead. Nice knock-up, succeed. This Xin Zhao is on an absolute tear as well, by the way. Very good early snowball. For those of you... Who was it was asking earlier? It was... I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name. We were having a whole conversation earlier. Oh, hang on. We'll talk about it later. Good TP in. Potent saying absolutely not. Leave my Azir alone. Who was it was asking? CMC. Was CMC Gar? See the goal lead? Nearly 6,000 gold. This at 14 minutes. This one's a bit doomed for KCB. And who was expecting that? Gentlemates at LFL 30 going up against one of the tournament favorites here in KCB. Have got a emergency sub top laner who's coming in from LFL Div 2. Just promoted up to Div 1, don't get me wrong. And Potent was one of the driving factors for that from what we've been hearing from chat and stuff. Fiora main. Fun. But has to slot into a team on less than a day's notice for EMEA Masters against KCB, and they're smashing him. This is great stuff. Solar Flare into the Untofo Strikes Part 3. Piero's getting knocked up by the 3 Talon Strike. Wind becomes lightning. I mean, this is demolition. Smolder is getting... So, to be fair, the Smolder is getting the early game lead because they turned up to an early skirmish, got 20 stacks at 5 minutes, a kill and 2 assists, and a bit able to snowball from there. It's not quite so simple as that. I do think Smolder's in a good position, because I think a lot of the laning dominant champions that used to mash Smolder, as we're about to see a first kill on the board for KCB, in trade for Herald, I will note. But hey, you got a kill. But yeah, I think a lot of the lane dominant champions that used to make sure that Smolder was hard to execute are kind of out of meta right now. Varus has been kicked into the dirt. We're not seeing too much Draven. I think you can do things like Ezreal Karma. I think you can do things like Kai'Sa Nika. I think you can do things like Caitlyn plus X. Caitlyn Karma, particularly, very potent right now. And those can make sure that Smolder cries. I think if you are very, very, very good and name something like Jackie Love or Gala or Ruler, you can do a Kalista lane, but it is not easy and you have to. You are obligated to smash lane hard enough to claim early dragons. But I do think in general, there are a lot more windows and draft angles to lock in a Smolder. Is this a big upset or are the LFL teams that close? I think it's a big upset. Roger, I think it's a massive upset. We've just been talking about it. LFL first seed is still one of your tournament favorites and will be for the foreseeable future. And Gentlemates have had to emergency sub in a top laner. Today. So yeah, so for me it's a big upset. Like, don't get me wrong, LFL 2 and 3 are going to be good teams. Just how good the region is, you know, like there is always that element. However, even so, for me this is a fairly significant element. And it's in the manner in which it's being done as well. I mean, okay, actually I kind of take that back. This is of KCB being very greedy over a Scuttle Crab contest and losing the 3v3. You got an early kill on Azir, on Smolder, on Xin Zhao, and then a solo kill just after, which was more surprising, from Potent into Minter. So, everyone but your support started the game 1-0. Like, against any reasonable opposition, that's always going to lead to a really likely win. That's just how it is. 5 minutes into the game, oh dear. However, on top of that, the fact we then see the snowball be so clean is very, very good. But again, we were having this conversation earlier that you are largely having two teams that are slightly different flavors of the same ice cream. You are both trying to have hyper-scaling front-to-back team fighting. Yes, KCB have got more side laning threat with Yoni and Gwen. Yes, they are probably slightly more defensive and they want to be in river first, set up saplings, have people come into them. Whereas mates are a little bit more about the front-to-back and are more able to face check in. But even so, you are largely looking at similar archetypes, at least, even if it is slightly different angles on the same style. And what that means is that early leads suck more because you don't have windows of power that are different in order to find your way back into the game because you are matching your scaling. It's like, okay, when am I strong? Well, the enemy team is strong as well. So we're going into the same fight even, right? No, because the other team has managed to get a significant gold lead early. Well, shit. Like, you don't have any mismatches where to kind of take advantage. You're then looking at macro moves and outplays and stuff like that. If games progress as expected, you are in a tricky position from that perspective. You would say the scuttle fight was a greedy thing on Gentlemate's part? I mean, it wasn't a Brawn passive, you know? And I did wonder if that Brawn passive... Yeah, but then again, you had Shinzao who got a lot of value. And Maokai pre-first back does not. Well, actually, it was second back, but anyway. But Maokai early on does not. I think it was a flip. But I think Gentlemate's winning the flip is there. I'm not sure I'd call it entirely greedy. I think KCB ended up trapped in the river with no way out. And that is terrain stuff, terrain management. You are red side in top side river. Your ways out of river are more limited. You have to flash over Baron Pit Wall. It's a lot easier to extract with Gentleman. So I don't know if I entirely agree, though I hear your argument, and it has merit. Potent in best of fives, though, doesn't have the champion pool, I think. I see you. It is new top lane carry player issue. It's what the likes of who's a good example of this? Oh, hang on. Solar Flare, slow Q looking for the engage. Oh, slow Q, you can't miss your Q like that. Yeah, it's over. Your flank from Yone didn't work, and Koth gets the execute on the way out. Execute gets pulled away from the wall, didn't have flash anyway. Mainta will probably get this kill. Shuffle away, Mainta. Great flash over the wall. Great flash over the wall, and now Zitzi and Comp can execute. I still don't know how to pronounce Zitzi's name. I'm very sorry. Thank you for following Nietzsche. I'm assuming that's the pronunciation. This is Nietzsche. I've gone for Nietzsche because it reminds me of the famous writer and pseudo-philosopher. Pope was just soloing Exa. What are you going to do at this point as a flashless Civet? Cry is the answer. Who is that top laner I was trying to allude to as a potential analog for Potent? LPL player, really liked his Jax, Fiora, Camille. LCP top. Really limited champion pool, but was very good on those champions. YSKM. Thank you, Happy Cow. Correct. You should know me. I keep going for SOFM because it's like SOFM, but it's not style of me. It was a similar acronym, yeah. YSKM, you should know me. Riven, Fiora, Irelia, Jax. That archetype a champion or bust. Potent's got Cassante, he's got Fiora, he's got that style of champion. Has yet to got a broader style of champion pool. Archetype is what I've been calling it, and what Nymera's been calling it a bit as well. Where you can play a style of champion. So, you know, your Fiora, Riven, Camille type players. But you don't really have in your pool tanks. Or range tops. Or, God forbid, AP tops. Maybe you're not the best Aatrox, Renekton, Bruiser style player. And not having that kind of breadth of champion pool style can be problematic for a top laner. Especially when it is as draft intensive as a carry top, like a melee carry split pushing top as well. That can be problematic. Kind of like Adam. Yeah, Adam's a great example. Again, Adam rounded out. He did round out. And again, I know this year's not been great for him, but even then, I think he wasn't the primary issue. I say that. The whole team was struggling, right? But either way. But yeah, he was the God style champion, where he was playing like Garen, Olaf, Darius, Set, you know, those style champions. Great example of an archetype. The gods. And not having a more well-rounded champion pool in terms of style of play can be problematic. Mostly just a pain for Fearless, but a lot of EMEA Master Series N3O anyway. Fair enough. Fair enough. And again, I think at ERL level, it's easier to get away with those things. I would also argue, at ERL level, it helped the Fearless. We didn't have the Fearless rant yesterday, and we'll have it a little bit here as well. Because I was covering, some of my long-term viewers will know this, a lot of LDL back in the day, which has had Fearless for years. This is where I was following people like Milky Way, and I was really shouting him out. Of course, hasn't had the greatest last couple splits, but that's notwithstanding, I still think he's a good player, and he'll get more chances. Monkey, 1XN, my GOAT. I was watching these guys when they were doing their formative years in LDL. And LDL has been Fearless for forever. They had best of 3 Fearless, all of that stuff. And it was a wild time out there because LDL Fearless is the thing of nightmares. I am talking, people will we'll hit game 3 and all of your answers into Samira are gone, so you will slam first pick red side Samira Rel. And just go, right, this is Ionia's super server, Chinese AD carry, Samira angles. We'll come back to this because Baron is happening. If there was a way back in for KCB, it's an in around Baron. Redemption is good. You've just lost your support. That's not bad from Slow Q. That's not bad at all. Comp flashes out. Slow Q's going to die. There wasn't enough follow-up. Last auto executes. Potent's about to go hopping on top of people. Flash gets over the scissors, so Snip Snip is snipping air. LDL is tier 2 Chinese League. Yes, it's basically the equivalent of ERLs for China. Would have been good if they hadn't been 10k down. Yep. We'll watch Baron go down. Yukino's still here. Doesn't have flash. Doesn't have ult. I mean, this is jungle support up against Cassante. You're not getting through that. Baron's down. You have to leave it. I think you would have been better served getting waves shoved than sitting there and playing Safari League of Legends going, ooh, look at this big Baron being killed by the wild pack of Gentlemates. Aker's about to go looking for a big shuffle. Yeah. I think that's game. Oh, okay. Executive and Slow Q are alive. I kind of take it back, actually. Probably would be a little bit bold. They've got a wave topside. You know, I think it's inhibitor being broken, at least. How aggressive are Gentlemates playing? You've got 20 seconds on a couple people here. And you're all up a lot of gold. I think you can force a fight. Shinsao's got ult. Solar Flare as well. Smolder's got ult. Yeah. All right, Nexus turret's under siege. Watch Slow Q. Gets the knock up onto Zichi. Slow Q dies fast, though, doesn't he? Oh, dear. Okay, Odote will die, but again, I don't think your Yone for Leona trade is that great. Footwork back. That's not bad, but unfortunately, you can get stunned back. Oof. You are bloody lucky Comp didn't get another auto off there, or a Super Scorcher Breath. So generally, for the record, for best of 7 stuff and best of 9 stuff, the way that often works is that it is attached to bracket advantage. So if you get to finals or wherever it is in a bracket with best of 7 on the line, what it will often be is it will best of 7, but the team that got there through the upper bracket will start with the game advantage. So what it actually is you play a minimum of 3 games, which is what it is for best of 5 anyway, or you get a maximum of 6 games, which is only one more than a max game 5-game series anyway. It's not that crazy. It's only 1 game potentially extra more, and it gives more value to getting to finals as your upper bracket team. So I actually think best of 7 with the kind of bracket advantage, game advantage is actually a really solid bit of value for your upper bracket team that's for there for having not having to play on stage. I don't actually think it's that much value. I don't. There you go. Okay. Well, double inhibitors down. Ooh, fate sealed. Again, not bad. Potent's going to footwork you, though. Nicely done. And the Pathmaker after. Shield into Pathmaker. It's doomed. Game is over. How are we doing? Our timings. Let's see what I need. I'm going to need this one for. Oh, where are my timings? Okay. So we should be ending fairly soon here in general. Okay, that's fine. So we're pretty much on schedule today, guys, which is good news. So LR versus Barca coming up fairly soon as well. Our next matchup. The reason we're talking about that is because Gentlemates have got Hexel, 12,000 gold lead, and KCB are in the toilets. And Gentlemates are about to flush them down it. What they're going to do. Main to dies as well. Took them a second reset, but they got all the inhibitors. They just took a one extra opportunity for the reset for the soul to come back and finish what they started. Very clean game from Gentlemates. They took the early skirmish lead, and we kind of called it. Look, double scaling draft, so one side gets an early advantage. It's kind of over. It might take 20 minutes, but it's kind of over unless you find a big way to turn it around. And that didn't happen. KCB kind of left blinking and potent. Play well here, my son. And there's going to be a lot of attention on you. Just graduated to Division 1, knocking out BDS Academy from LFL Div 2. Subs in on short notice and puts up a performance like that against Mainta. Sends him 1 and 5. Solo kills multiple times. Brushing your dust off your shoulder for this one. I don't want to sit through a 6-game series, to be honest. I can see that. I personally, if it is a finals or a semis, particularly like an upper, like an upper bracket semis or whatever, or a finals, I think the value of those series is such that a extra game is worth the extra bit of effort to view. I think personally, and I don't get me wrong, I am an esports diehard. I've spent the last 5 years often for free. Like, I'm doing this for tips, guys. I'm doing this for the subs. I am a massive lover of esports. My perspective is one of someone who wants to see the best games all the time. I am all for it, but I am aware that I am not most people. So there is that element. And don't get me wrong, the esports purists out there will enjoy that. Yeah, unfortunately, Caedrel's still ill. Wish him well. Got a bit of a chest infection, which is really crap timing. But there you go. Hope he gets better soon. Chest infections can be hard to knock, especially if you're on stream talking. That is not good for a chest infection. Blessed to have blind pick game 5 and LCK back in the... Oh, my days. Ryu versus Zed. Ryu versus Zed. Ryu versus Faker Zed mirror matchup. There we go. Full extended statement is correct. Wouldn't have happened without blind pick. That's cool. I kind of miss game 5 blind pick. I think it's a really cool thing. I think we should bring it back. Reset Fearless. Blind pick gets to 5 game 5. Though I grant you, it does kind of like reduce the power of getting side selection, but I think it would also potentially help mitigate the blue side advantage that's often been a bit of a decried problem. Anyway, really good stuff from Gentlemates. Very, very solid. Again, real credit to them. Time to go set up. Barella. They're coming up next. Lost return is ours. Let's go. Okay. Have we got any rats in chat? I think we're going to start getting some. Where are we? This is what we need to do. Let's check over. We scream into infinity for a second. Get ourselves ready for this one. Here we go. Our versus Barca coming up soon. VVV1 against Eintracht. Ooh, sorry, not Eintracht. EIQ. What is EIQ's full name? I do remember. I always have to look up every time I get involved with EMEA Masters. They're like all the time. The VVV winning that. Were they the LCQ? They're from last chance qualifiers, aren't they? Oh, that's Ibo's team. I mean, in fairness, Ibo's always been quite good for a while. Was in Prime League, smashing heads for years. Still. What is... Entropic, of course it is. Who's on that team at the minute? Danik, Robocop. Okay, yeah, I know some of these players. Although I will say that Veni Vidi Vici's team is genuinely pretty solid. Like, Nash has been decent for a while. Ibo's a very scary carry top. Like, I wouldn't sleep on VVV to at least threaten some pool 3 teams. And some of the weaker pool 2 teams as well are going to have to look at this team and sweat a little bit. Personally. Hey, Eunice, good to see you. Rat. Let's go. Run some ads while we're thinking about it. Or we get into our next series. Oops. I'm checking socials to make sure I retweeted some stuff. Misa beat Team Orange. Oh, someone was asking me for my prediction on that one. I was actually expecting Orange to do all right in that one. Forgot to answer. 113, my favorite player. He plays for Barca. Keep an eye on him. I mean, we're excited for it. Again, 113. One of those players that was like very nearly still in LEC. Yeah, I don't know. He has developed. I just don't know whether he's going to get another chance now is the problem. And he's one of those players who, for a long time, was dismissed as just a level 3 Raptor invade coin flip jungler. Yeah. And I don't think that's very fair to him anymore. Barca versus Rats. Who wins? Rats. Real. I'm guessing Vitality and GXP are winning their next game's easy. PXS versus Gallant. I'm not so sure. Yeah, I think Partisans have been surprisingly good, haven't they? They really have. But again, excellent. My boy. Don't ban Nidalee, ex-Riddle coach as well. Once upon a time. I think he might have been on Riddle when Vladdy and Emperos were on it. How long have we got until draft? Hang on, why am I Graham? Why are you forsaking me? Still waiting for knowledge. So no update as to when that is yet, but I think we're done with pretty much every game. So all of that is now done. Thank you again for everyone who's been following. Do appreciate you all coming on in. It shouldn't be too long. Depends on whether Bowser's computer crashes again. Oh no. Oh no. One of those days, huh? We could turn the lights on actually. Oh, hydrate from Monty's as well. Sorry about that one. Well, that happens. Thanks for streaming, EMEA. Absolutely. Thanks for being here. Make sure to give a follow to the channel, guys. And if you haven't already, do consider subscribing. Help support me doing all of this. I am reliant on all of you back home to keep me in business. Love you all. Thank you. Those who do. And those who do sub, you can yell at me in all caps. If you don't, you get banned. Not even joking. Well, banned. You get timed out. You get timed out for like 30 seconds. It's a good chat. It's a surprisingly good chat filter. Thank you for the follow, Global Wheel. See? This is a reason you have to do the calls to action. And people let you do the thing. I pledge allegiance to Uncle Sam. You need to subscribe to this channel. And instead of like a Stars and Stripes hat, I'll have like a little Summoner's Rift. Or like a Challenger hat. You got a new 7K computer and it just keeps crashing? Oh, God. Yeah, we do. We even have our own XED emote, it's true. Right, let's go get the lights on so we're good to go. Ugh. The light. The light. I'm the Shadow Man. Oh, so it's a Rift Rival Korean draft relay match. Okay. Oh, is this the ASI? Yes. But yes, we were chatting LDL Fearless a little bit earlier and we got a bit distracted by the game. One of the conversations we were sort of having is that at sort of this level, at LDL level as well, if you are a player who is like Potent, is like YSKM, who is famous for specific subsets of champions, specific archetypes of champions, it is easier to find a window to pull them out in Fearless than in Standard drafting. And that could be a really good opportunity for players to flex the mechanical muscles, show what they've got, and kind of translate your solo queue prowess to stage at a level where that is possible. Because actually, you know, if you are a Fiora player, couple games deep, cool, we can now ban out a couple of those matchups which are a bit rough, and you can go, okay, actually, now it's a bit more playable to say, we're just going to play around top. Here's the Fiora matchup. Or we're going to say, actually, we're going to make sure we've got priority bots, so this Fiora is going to get an isolated 1v1 because everyone has to go bot. And if they go towards the Fiora, then our bot lane's going to smash. Like, it's a bit easy to do that one. How's Alex been? Yeah, doing well. He's playing a lot of Ghost of Tsushima at the minute. Excited for Ghost of Yota. In fact, I think he'll be streaming that, which would be good. So keep your eyes on that one. He popped on the stream earlier to give us some info. GK beat their rivals in GNG. Misebe beat Team Orange, which is a fairly big one. Again, it's Turkish team, so again, you can never underestimate them, right? They are a very scary region. We won the best of 9, not the ASI. Oh, here's a screenshot. Drop it in the. It might be better dropping it in the Discord if you're not in there. Double check it. Make sure it hasn't been put. Oh, we were on there. Nice. Oh, we got little posts on Reddit. Oh, we got a nice little post on Reddit. Thank you to the rats who were saying lovely things. Oh, there we go. There's some really nice words about me and Alex on there. That's really kind. Just a little post. Basically, it was a very lovely Reddit post from some of the rats yesterday, which was very kind. Thank you very much. Should be going into draft soon. I should have put some music on, guys. The joys of game music is it is in fact... Drop the volume a bit. Not copyrighted, which is very convenient. God bless Persona music. Ready in chat? I've literally put music on for it to change. That's ridiculous. Turn it up. We're going to draft. No. See? We got 20 seconds. I should have just done it. but he's a bit more of a carry. And basically, between Syndra Execute and Viego Execute, you can pop people pretty well. And obviously, Velia loves the Viego, so it makes sense on a player standpoint. But there's the Kiana we've been talking about. You have to be very careful as Viego into Kiana. Very careful. Basically because you spend a lot of time lurking around walls as Viego. And Kiana can just sort of say, yeah, no, you don't, and ult the wall. And it's a bad time. play. Zeri following up to clean things up as the game gets later. I do think there is a world where the Viego dives in and gets mashed, and that might get a bit scary. But we'll see. LR again have gone towards quite a bruisery frontline with the Galio. Viego, I think, will probably go for a Sundered Sky type build to give himself a little bit more option. And I think if you get vision control and lane shove and you can start playing around the Galio ult with whoever's diving in, life is decent. If you don't, and suddenly you are into a quad carry comp that is blasting you with the most insane ult AoE of all time, it's a bad time. Velia's about to face check 2 people. Oh dear. Okay. They won't overplay it. However, that does mean no early wards for Velia into the enemy jungle. Reminder, the reason we are seeing Qiyana jungle, she got buffed, particularly in her damage to jungle monsters with her W. Basically got 10% extra flat attack speed at every rank. It means that Qiyana is clearing the jungle, if you're a good Qiyana, at about 304.
I see your spirit.
304 jungle clear. Yikes. That means you can back for long swords and come out and contest Scuttlecrab. I think there's been some slight nerfs, maybe not quite as easy to do that, but you still end up clearing very, very fast. And then, actually, as you get towards Profane Hydra, as you get towards Axiom Art, it's a lot of lethality, it's a lot of ability haste on your ultimate. You just turn up to every skirmish and ult everyone, and they die. And you out-farm, and you out-level, and you're a carry threat, and you've got teamfight CC. You can see what the angle is with Qiyana, but it is the obligation is to be good at Qiyana too. And it's the reason why it's decent in LPL, right? Because you've got, this is the region of TN, who is still getting Qiyana permabanned against him. Kanavi, Tarzan. Monsters of the game who would be mechanically more than good enough to play Qiyana mid lane. And that is the bar I set for some of these junglers, is if you are going to play at a high level at the very least, the likes of a Zed, or in this case, the likes of a Qiyana, and I think there is a certain similarity in terms of when you are drafting them. There are nuances there, we can get into that another time. The baseline for me is, are you good enough to play this mid lane? Could you play this like a mid laner plays? You know the combos, you know the windows, you know how to team fight with it. To that level. If not, then you're going to look a bit silly at a certain level. This is what we like to see, though, because Qiyana's already got the red buff and gets to mess with the Viego, who's got no red buff. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. 113 hasn't got smite. We'll start off red here. That's big. And actually, the Lulu Zeri, which is double ranged, haven't gotten shove. They can't join in the jungle very easily. I think Qiyana's going to smash this red buff in very short order. Velia doesn't have flash either. I think that's a lost red buff. And they've got wards around as well. So Velia, I think... Look, you've gotten the longsword in the dream. I wonder how you're going to feel about this Scuttle Crab. You won't quite have smite up. Gets a stun in the river. You need to have it go away from Velia. Oh, hang on. I think Velia might have a really good angle onto 113 here. Good chunk there with the Dark, the Blade of the Ring King. Nemesis coming over. Whiten's coming. Good dodge away. Oh, Velia misses his W. 113 is going to get to run away. Crowny's going to slide out. Whiten's now coming on over. He's now in danger. Where's the Aurora? TP's back in. Good dodge away from the Scout of the Week. So it'll end up being a buff for buff trade. Scuttle Crab's still up. LR burn a fair number of resources to make this happen. They don't get the Scuttle Crab. Now they're looking to punish. Crowny is going to slide out. They're going to spot... Legolas is going to prevent him getting towards the wave. So the trade for getting Velia the blue buff is lost control in mid and bot. Nemesis, good Scout of the Week. Still eats a lot of damage. First strike. Ow. Nemesis doesn't have TP either, so he's going to lose this wave. No smite. Doesn't matter. Got it. Yeah, okay. Velia's stuck at 19 CS. This is what Qiyana does with early priority and a good early laning. This is why we wanted the ward. Why Velia getting chunked at level 1 was such a big deal. Qiyana then knows where you're going to be, and she clears so damn fast she can contest you at Krugs at red buff. White Knight's gotten the ability to come crashing on over. If this is a kill onto 113, I think this is actually not great for Baus. It does get the wave crash, and White Knight is dropping a wave to make this happen. So I will note there's a wave crashing right now. So, Bounce is still going to be ahead in terms of XP, in terms of gold. And White Knight wasn't given the kill, it was given to 113. However, 113 has already gotten a significant lead over Velia. And you have to start asking questions about, is Baus getting a lead enough to mitigate the fact that 113 could potentially take over the game on Kia? And that could be a big deal. We'll need to keep our eyes on it. And it does make this a very interesting set of affairs, because again, that's an early 600 gold lead to Kiana, who's gotten the early Brutalizer. There's the Between Worlds. Nemesis didn't have level 6, and again, didn't get there because he's been forced back. White Knight's got to roam down. Potentially look for an Equalizer angle. Nemesis is going to be forced off this turret. This is rough for the Syndra. First pick Syndra is not having fun here. Yeah, there's the Equalizer. Nemesis has to flash and doesn't have TP. Oh dear. They've sent Reckless and Velia mid to try and shield this out. Whiten's going to body block it. Nemesis actually has to be really afraid of a twofold Hex weirding combo, because I think that would kill Nemesis, especially without the flash. Missing the Spectral Maw. Dragon picked up by 113. It's not the biggest gold lead. It's where the gold lead is. And again, LR have been known to drop leads early on in game. It happens. They win anyway. Not the end of the world. However, it is worth noting that if you take nameplates off and you go, okay, this isn't LR and Barca, it's just two teams playing this way, you should be nervous that the Aurora has managed to get the Syndra into this position. And that 113 is significantly ahead, although actually caught here at half HP. Oh, they're dead. Flash still. Galio ult, flash out. We'll be able to escape with the blast cone. But they've gone very deep for this, and Velia's still level 5. Yeah, okay, what Baus gets out. That's actually a pretty good invade. Nice recovery. That's what you like to see. And you get the flash out of 113, who got greedy there. That'll be a camp. That'll be a couple camps back. Necessary for Velia. Necessary for Velia. Oh, good flash from Legolas. Crowny does have flash. You can be forced to burn it. Oh, I don't know about that ult, Legolas. Don't think you need to ult there. And you flash for the feather pool? I think Crowny's okay with that. I think Crowny's very okay with this. Up 10 CS already. And Velia's going to get grubs off the back of this as well. Solid recovery from jungle in particular. And good use of the ultimate in the early lane prior from Baus to make sure that 113 can stick around and contest that. Crowny with flash advantage and the CS advantage and the reset there. He's fine. Jekyllad is going to punish Nemesis though, who doesn't have flash. 113 is about to just mash him. Hasn't got flash. Does it matter? Yeah, it's Women's Player Talent. Forces the ult now at least. Clears the wave. Jekyllad can probably twofold hex that. Jungle tax. Baus TP's in. They got 2 of the grubs. That effectively ends up being 2 grubs for the kill mid. I suppose with a player in the jungle as well. 1 for 1 in kills. Did they kill anyone? No, they didn't. They got some flashes. They didn't get the kill. So in the end, I suppose it's jungle camps, grubs for kill mid, effectively. That was in the grand scheme. And the flash advantage bomb. That's kind of its own thing. Velia should mash the grubs. Why is Prouse the only pro player that does this strat? It's not work in tier 1 play. I think it is significantly riskier at tier 1. Because... oh. Yep. There are players that are more mechanically gifted enough to punish... oh, hang on. That's actually a really good gank angle mid. Jekyllad goes across the veil. Does have flash. There's no more stun left for LR, so Jekyllad is fine. Does need to be a bit wary there. Ah, yeah, had to flash that. Oof. Nearly a good Mad Life from Velia, actually. Nearly read the flash perfectly. But yeah, the issue is that the Baus's way of playing this is inherently very greedy. And Baus is very, very, very good at it, and I don't think people have got that much experience against playing against it. Oh, Screams Play of Gallant combo. First strike, Crowny's dead. Crowny's dead. As is Reckless. Oh, nasty. Kiana with Profane Hydra and First Strike, everybody. And this is this is the issue with Baus' style of playing potentially. If teams are good enough to get value elsewhere on the map, or get value off the kills onto Baus, say getting a Kiana fed to be able to do this, then Baus' play pattern becomes selfish enough that it affects the rest of the map. LR are a good enough team in general. That might be a solo kill. Ooh, not quite. Very necessary stun. That twofold Hex pullback. My god. That was sub 10 HP, but Nemesis is not having fun mid. Yeah, I think that might be Baus dying. No flash. Feather Storm. Nice. Really good stuff from 113 and White in there. Actually, sorry, Legolas and White in. 113 was on my screen. The thing is, though, that bot side play did give Crowny and Reckless a chance to get another plate top, which is important. Though we'll note that Legolas ending up ahead in gold off getting that kill onto Baus is a bit problematic. They got 2 plates. I honestly don't remember. Okay, if I was casting this properly, I would have used a couple of plates. Is the way I would have phrased it, because the point is I didn't catch it. And then I would type or yell in production to go, how many plates did they get? And production would go, Sam, you're silly. They got this many plates. And they go, thank you for that. So the answer is you might be right. And I just missed it. I was like, I don't actually know. I know it was at least a plate. Is 113 the emote spammer? He is. He is also right now in a very scary spot this game. 2-0-2. I will give credit to Velia for recovering from the early jungle debacle. The invade was really good later on. Crack and Slayer for Viegas was going for the carry build. He's got a Lulu and a Galio behind him, so not the end of the world. Oh, Baus, great roam. Chocolate is so dead. Really nice. A kill now for that Viego. Very, very nice. How did Baus get there without Chocolate knowing it? It's going to cost bot turret. I think. Oh, nice turnaround. Ah, yeah, 1-1-3. You can't have that happen. Yeah. You got the kill mid, but you didn't track where the jungler was. And 1-1-3 is a carry. That's not a Shinzao or whatever. That Kiana will blast you in the face. Can you clear this turret? Oh, you just about clear the wave. Good work from White Knight. He's got Rakan coming up. They need to leave. Brownie needs to get out of here. Can he slide down the wall? Might force ult out of Reckless here. They're going to wait and quickness Crowny. They're going to wait and quickness Crowny. He's not going to be allowed to slide on out. He needs to try and play it out. It's a good wild growth triple knockup. He's dead. That was really nice positioning from Whiten. Did you see how they did that? Basically, Whiten basically sat there on the wall and said, if you slide, I will quickness and charm you off the wall. And then White Knight gets to go, you don't win the 1v1 versus me, I will walk at you. And Kiana was behind it all and got the kill. How much HP? 14 HP. Just sit around and get the turret at that point, guys. Oh, man. I think you just have to sit around and get it. But that was very nice positioning from Whiten. Because it was damned if you do, damned if you don't. You saw what the alcove angle was. Crowny's going, cool, I will slide out of here. And the next level is Whiten going, yeah, I know you're going to go in there. Let me stand next to this wall and I will charm you off. We see this happen versus Talia sometimes too, actually. Yeah, 1-1-3 on a carry, a slightly different beast. Up 1,000 gold. In credit to Velia for at least managing to get some invades off, get some camps back. But the problem is that invade on the Raptors, he got the Raptor cap and just got blasted for it. And becoming a 1-for-1 because of the kill mid. Because, yes, you got the kill mid, but then the kill back comes on through. And now Kiana is 1,000 gold up. Profane Hydra very early. And who tanks Kiana ultimate on this team? Galio eventually? Everyone else. This is a Kraken Slayer. On Viego. Good grief. Give me a second. That's rough. Now, he's got first turret mid. That is the price of Nemesis being forced back a number of times. Credit to Nemesis at the very least for coming back. Was actually quite a long way behind, but getting that assist, getting some CS back, that's nice. Does get the turret topside. That's nice. You get what you can get. Herald's going to get started, though. And feats of strength for Bastard's not bad. A couple thousand gold ahead's not bad. It's LR, though. We have seen them come back from significantly bigger deficit. Cadril is indeed watching. He's got the stream up. So at this point, LR, what are you doing to come back into this? And part of this is getting a second item onto Crowny. Funnel him as much gold as you can. And then you are basically looking to pick off people with the Viego Galio combo. We've seen a little bit of that from Bousy already. Though Bousy's actually behind in gold now, which is a bit frustrating. Although, in fairness, being even at 0 and 2. Oh, Bousy never change. The only issue basically is, look, your kills, the deaths that you've given up, have given Kiana a lot of value. And I do think this is a game, as I've been saying, that a good Kiana can carry. And we've seen some bad Kianas. I think 113 so far has played a pretty good Kiana game. And you're sort of seeing why Kiana was tried so much. But again, there's just a bar. There's a mechanical bar to execution. I don't know whether you need to herald that. But they're going to... Oh! Oh, God! Bousy! Oh, Lord Almighty! He's dead. That's your tank! Oh! That's not for turret. They might get a tier 2 off this. Are we getting rotation? We are getting the Zeri and Lulu coming down, but it won't save the turret. Bloody hell, son. Yeah, now Kiana's 2,000 gold ahead. They get 2 turrets. They can rotate for Soul Point. Baus has got TP and ult, though. So, there's a world where Barca have now overplayed their hands here. They're greeding for all of it. They've gotten the kill, 2 turrets, and they're in the river first. Good chunk onto Veli, who is still quite squishy. Okay, Baus doesn't want to ult it. They're going to get this as well. They're not going to contest. Okay, fine, fine. Nemesis wasn't there either, so it's what it is. Nemesis only has Hollow Radiance right now. It's true. And he's gotten Symbiotic Souls. And of course, he's gone Dark Seal and a Hexo Cultinator. So he's not going tanky. Of course he's not. However, this is then part of a larger factor of the LR draft, which is that it is inherently a very squishy draft. Into a now Profane Hydra Axiomar Giga-fed Kiana, who will ult anybody and smash them in a combo. Ult did half of Baus's HP into a knockup, and then WQ or QWQ was the rest of Baus's HP bar. That's nasty. That's really nasty. Flicker Blade's done for Legolas, so you're getting second items here for Barcelona. Okay, LR, if you give Infernal Soul to a quad carry comp, it's over. I don't care how good LR are coming back. I think it gets very, very, very hard to play then. And I think we're going to start seeing LR pull towards Atakan. And if that goes wrong as well, this gets hard. We're going to start seeing 113 start stepping into the... Hang on. 113's gone very deep. Ooh, flash out. Serena's Blame Talent. Nah, that's foul. Oh, Veli's going to be really careful. He's getting exhausted. Wild Growth. Trying to get the reset. He just about gets it, but dies. Damn. Damn. Really clutch flash from 113. Okay, you got the shutdown. That's your prize. You got the shutdown. You cut the gold lead by 600. Because you got the shutdown. However, that's still not great. Yeah, I mean, you save the turret. Xayah still gets the shove through mid. Is the shutdown enough? Because the problem is the Kiana still got 2 kills, so it's not like she came away with that play not getting gold. It does reduce... It takes Nemesis' lead away again. Probably is about even. Probably is about even. I think you're probably still okay-ish with that as Barca. 2 kills for Kiana is nothing to sniff at. Even if, of course, you still give that shutdown over. Though I grant you that 1,000 gold is a fair amount to give over. And I can see the criticism. But does cutting the gold lead by what? 400? Matter compared to Kiana getting another influx of about 1,000 gold herself. Well, more like 750. There's still a lot of gold to give over. And Nemesis dies again. And it gets more on the board for Checkerlad. And it forces awkward rotation, so you end up losing a wave bot. Don't know. We'll see. I don't think it's as simple as that's enough. We'll see. Second item's done for Crown. He's got the Hurricane. Second item's in for Nemesis. Titanic's done for Velia. Velia's got a very burst-heavy build. And this will matter, because if you do catch 113, and you get an auto-Q auto off with the R, or an auto... Even a Q Titanic auto, or Q Titanic R. Like, those short burst combos are very, very scary. That is a very... Moving the camera. That is a very smart Serpent's Fang. Boop. The tankiness this game is from shields. It is Lulu. Probably even the Galio shield, it should probably affect as well from his ult. I think that's going to really hurt, especially if you look at something like a Sterak's or Velia. Whoever gets Lulu ulted or Lulu saved now is actually not going to be anywhere near as safe as the way Baus is dead. Yeah. Baus is dead. Ooh, hang on. Flash out. Phase rush. TP in. Hop away. TP flash. I think you're okay with that. Reminder, it's not a long cooldown for 113 with all of this ability haste. Ooh, stun, but not that much follow-up. Nemesis, now in danger. That equalizer kind of sucked. Not great, White Knight. Not gonna lie to you. Nemesis! Hop out from Whiten. Yeah, fine. You get the hit. You get the heroic entrance, and Nemesis has to be wild growth as well. I don't know about this one, Bausey. Bausey gets away with it. Between worlds, lots of burn. Crowley can't find that much more. Oh my god, LR get away with murder. Nemesis, you need to back. The problem is this is Infernal Soul, and Barcelona's HP bars are so much better. You have the contest now, but you just burned like all of your ults. How the hell do you walk into this as Soul? Quad carry with Infernal Soul. Checkerlad might look for a weirding combo here. Baus, I don't know about this. Yeah, Baus might just eat a lot of Infernal Soul damage. Diana. 113's got ult up again. 113's got ult up again. Watch him. Watch him. Ooh. Grass gets stunned. Flash away. Valley doesn't find the stun back. Oh my god, the Ixtal's aim. Oh, the Edge of Impact. Ixtal's impact. Edge of Ixtal. My days, Skarner has ruined my Kiana ability names. Rocket Belt. Why? Because it's Baus. He wants to go look for the big plays. With that and Phase Rush and Symbiotic Souls, he's got so much mobility. Yeah. Kiana's doing some pretty horrifying things this game. Credit to Velia for staying close-ish in XP, at the very least. They can add to Khan now. With Infernal Soul. Oh, LR, you've got to play this well. Any other team, this game is over. They're 4,000 gold. Ah, man alive, that's a lot of damage. Yeah, okay, well, you got an invitation to the talent show. Kiana has been showing that particular ability for a number of years now. Good God. I am sad to say that my read on the Kiana being potentially quite cool here was correct. Alright, Atakan, Infernal Soul, 4,500 gold. This is not a pleasant place for LR to be in. Gold lead-wise, at least, they have been able to pick up some bits here. Baus is going to get a tier 2. You take the silver linings where you can find them. If you can blow up Kiana with a lot of your burst damage, especially because it's a very high damage Viego, you can possibly find a way back. The problem is, LR are forced to face check into Baron pits like that, just losing members. Barca are playing this really well. Really well. Yeah. This is challenging now. Well, they just, at the span of about 2 minutes, they just got Infernal Soul, Atakan, and Baron. That should be game. And unfortunately for LR, they are not winning this one. First pick Syndra hasn't really worked out. And then the response being Rumble Aurora has been tough. They then Galio to try and mitigate the Rumble. Rumble fell a bit behind, but it's been just fine in the team fights. And they go, right, we're going to lock in Viego. Not bad as a Galio option, but I think Barca just basically said, yeah, blind picking Viego and blind picking Syndra is just very bold into us. Because the Kiana is a really good answer to a lot of these junglers. To a lot of these comps. And you can see why. Again, it's not been great at LCK level. It's not been great at LEC. In LPL, it's been first pickable. People have been banning it and are not allowing it as first pick, first game in Fearless. First game, but first pick options for certain players, because you can just take over a game and then it doesn't really matter. She'll always have ult up and she will be an extra carry and she's initiation. Her ult is initiation. It's like, well, I'm a carry with initiation? Sign me up. And I can just get massive individual leads in the jungle. It's tough.
Enemies.
Right, it's tough! That's without ult! Good God. So you can see why LCK and LEC teams have been trying it. That is probably lights out. Do LR... Okay, they're not going to push for the end. They're going to play it a bit safer. Kiana's just back for Cyrilda's Grudge. Kiana is 2 items ahead of Velia now. Bloody hell. This all kind of started around that level 1 catch on Velia, where he goes down really low, doesn't get early wards. Kiana clears her red side jungle and immediately invades, knowing where Viego's going to be. They force Viego out of the jungle. They get the red buff. They try to counter invade, don't actually get that much value. I mean, it's tough. It's a really good Kiana game. And I credit to Velia and to Lost Returns for at least finding ways to get Velia back into the game XP-wise. But they have not managed to pull the trigger proactively themselves. It's been triaging from minute 1. And that's tough. The level of damage reminds me when LeBlanc was blowing up supports on Spam a few seasons ago. Yeah. There is a bit of that. And again, like, look, the way LR have built this team comp, like, it is a carry Viego with Titanic and Kraken Slayer. It is Baus going AP Scion. You've got a Lulu support. No one here can deal with a Kiana combo. Not a 4-item Kiana combo. She's level 16 now. Like, this is tough. And we've not really seen Crownie be able to play the game. Nemesis was getting manhandled largely in lane by Checkerlad as well. Solid work to come back, but actually we saw Nemesis forced to reset, forced to go back from the turret multiple times. That gave Kiana a lot of free time to get involved and get a lot of the early objectives. Like, we've all memed about LR's early games, but rarely has it been punished so successfully by team. Yeah, exactly, RS. There's been a little bit of that kind of like play for mid game. Nemesis won't lose lane. It's very rare to see Nemesis come out of the early lane. But don't worry, he recovered well. So low. And Velia being put so far behind has been a nightmare. Especially because this draft required Velia to be a linchpin. And he's been mashed. There's Elder Dragon. It's an early Elder Dragon too. You've got 3 items on Crownie. I don't know what you do here. There's 113 right there. Bit of a stun. Barca did it in groups last time as well. They did. They did. Barca have been a bit of the LR kryptonite. I was quite excited for this match. I was like, I wonder. And I'm glad I wondered. I am glad I wondered. Good stun. Goodbye, inhibitors. So, what a phrase from Dippy, by the way. Sometimes the bear eats you, and other times you get eaten by the bear. It is what it is. Well, this game, Barcelona have been the Grizzly. And Kiana has been the primary clause. Come out of hibernation of late. Back into the light of pro play. There's some mixed success depending on what league you're in. Best of one, it doesn't mean much. Yeah, look, absolutely. It's not. However, I say this as an NLC caster, as an LR enjoyer. I am glad that Lost Ratones are getting punished for some of the drafting choices here. This is actually a really fun draft from Barca, and I'm glad, largely, for my own analytical sake, that I went, phew, I see what the Barca angle is here, and I go, you know what, LR? You might have put yourself in a tricky position here. And that will matter, because I want LR to win EMEA Masters legit. If they are going to complete the Golden Wrap, they're going to follow the Piper's Roads. I want teams to actually push them and to punish what has often been quite greedy early games where they've fallen behind. Quite greedy drafts where you are blind picking Syndra and locking in Viego and Galio's like this. Hang on. 113. Just eyeing people by that turret, isn't he? Nemesis doesn't have flash. Good stun. Doesn't mean that much. Like, Nemesis just doesn't have damage. It's a 32-minute Syndra who barely tickles. That's a tragedy. Out of the weak down. Can keep hunting. Double elixir of sorcery in a dream right now. It's every inhibitor down. Elder Dragon's rolling. Equalizer tags a couple. Gonna force Crowny and Reckless to back. They'll get the redemption. The Shirelli's out. Next turret 1 falls. Inhibitors are respawning. Ish. 1 Nexus turret between Barcelona. White Knight goes golden, flashes away. Put value out of position. Oh, God. Garb ousted. Crowny's going to throw down the lightning. But unfortunately, his wattage ain't enough. It's a mild static shot. Whereas Barcelona are bringing the Elemental Thunder. 1-1-3. Well, ensure LR aren't going undefeated. Kryptonite of LR continues to be just that. And it is off a phenomenal jungle game. What a Kiana. I think we're about to see some very scary damage numbers, folks. Damn. Did anyone get any cool clips from that one? Tell me they did. Yeah. I'm right. Wrong thing. Sorry about that. Let me try moving my camera this time. Woo, baby. It's a bit of a jungle gap, folks. That is a 20,000 difference in damage. 6k to 26. Yikes. So it's Swiss stage. So they were up here. They're now going to move down to the 1-on-1 squad in the middle. We have a rough one. Did Panth get nerfed to the ground? For why they didn't take that? Yes, they did. Pantheon did take some fairly heavy nerfs. Still a decent option. I think it's still playable. In fact, they are just undoing some of the nerfs for the Worlds patch because they went a bit too far. So, I'm not... Are they off? They're on 1519, aren't they? I think that's the one with the Pantheon nerfs. So the answer is yes, a little bit. Right, guys, I'm going to run some ads. I'm going to change the clean feed. I'm going to get myself some food. And we'll get ready for our last game. Pedro mentioned himself that he's not a fan of Viego when you play an enchanted bot lane. Yeah, look, you if you're going to do that, you needed another dive buddy. You've got Galio sort of, but it's Bowser's Galio, and you're very reliant on the Viego going in first, not pouncing on someone. Which makes it very telegraphed, because Viego only has one play pattern there. Especially from behind as well. It's really hard. He was playing catch-up the entire game. Either you... In a better game, Viego can follow up on someone else. like the Syndra stun, or a Leona or a Rell engage, and then be the execute kill. Or you can still be the first pick, and that's fine too, and then other people follow up. It's fine. But your options are a lot narrower because you don't have that other option. You have to go in first. Which basically means, well, track the Viego. What are they going to do without him going first? I get that they felt like they had to Zeri Lulu because they were like, oh, Jesus, what are we doing about Zyra Khan? If we melee support into this, yikes, especially with a lot of the ones that can kind of manage it, like Rell and Alistair off the table. It's the reason I was wondering about the Braum. Would have been a little bit more reactive than proactive, but might have been okay. And you can manage the Xayah feathers a bit with a good door placement. But yeah, I wasn't a fan. They kind of got angled into it by the threat of the Zyra Khan, especially with the Kiana already in. Like, oh, God. They needed a way to try and help save people. But yeah, it doesn't work. Right, let us change out our clean feed. I think we're going to do... We said we'd do Heretics versus Unicorns of Love Sexy Edition. I believe. E3. Which is this one. Okay, well, we'll stick it here then. That's convenient. In that case, give me a second, guys. I'm going to grab myself a bit of food. And we will return for our final game of the day. Back in a second or two. Alright, folks, I return with bleeding hot food. Made myself a paneer korma from scratch. Look at that. Mashed up a load of cashew nuts earlier. It's very good. Alright. I return it. The Lulu pick was a bit, yeah. I see what the thought, I see how they ended up there. I see how they ended up there, but there we go. Right. Munch on this a bit. I'll move the microphone away so you can't hear it. Eated those. Oh, 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 oh. Edward mentioned himself that he's not. Yeah, well, we've had that. Big upset? Yeah, I think so. So for fairness, Barca have done it before with lost returns. In some ways, like, I did wonder whether that might be a bit of a thing. They have beaten them before. A pretty good read on LR. Found a cardamom pop. Partisan beat Galleons as well? Wow! The LFL first and second seed lost today. And Partisans are on a really good tear. That's now 2-0. Good for them. Depending on scheduling tomorrow, I think we'll try and get a Partisans game in. EXS are going to be a strong team this EMEA. I completely agree. Ooh, draft. Excellent news. So, Dan Vox, name I go. Simply, well, we saw a bit of Heretics yesterday. They started well. Mercy got a cool solo kill, and it all started falling apart as the game went on. They got more and more panicked. And were deservedly beaten. Unicorns I love Sexy Edition, of course. Prime League 4. But I love a lot of these players. Dan Voxen in particular is a player I think is a very, very good AD carry. Very well rounded. Very flexible. Plays major spot as well. Could be pretty scary. Simply can get a hold of the Orianna. Wrong tab. The right tab. This one? What did I want to check out? Ah, yes. Ah, yes. Simply is a Finnish player. I'm trying to remember which NLC team he was on. Schalke Sphere. It was on Ensa back in the day. I remember that. On Schalke Fear for a couple of years. That's where I cast him. Used to play a bit of Gangplank mid, if memory serves. The Gangplank mid, enjoy it. Anyway, draft. As it stands, Orianna, Shinzao, Corki. Skirmishing, front to back. Big ults. Wow. Heretics, a little bit more scaling with Yunara and the Syndra and the Wukong. However, very, like, significantly more dangerous as the game gets later. So I worry a little bit about lane priority. I think Yunara, with the base stat nerfs, has been less scary those early levels, whereas before she used to have these windows with Q and E running where she could run people down with just the autos. Especially if, say, someone like a Corki misused his cooldowns or missed a fast bomb or something. Look, Douglas, yeah, indeed it is. Of course. Once of LEC and ended up being replaced. A lot of people want him to come back up to LEC at some point soon. Yeah, I'm 80% on a Heretics win because I think they've got some really good players and I think they were better than they showed yesterday. We shall see. Thoughts on LCS getting 3 slots back for Worlds? Let me come back to that after draft because I probably ought to focus on draft first, but I have seen the question, Harry. We will definitely talk about it. Because I do have some. Alistair is good. Good front line, can mess with the Shins out pretty well. You get into the Shins out space, you can knock him away. You can mess with Corki a bit as well. Not the strongest lane ever. Probably does mean that you could lock something like the Rel here and feel pretty happy about it for CS. Unless they want to do something like Bard. Bard is actually really good here if you want to play for really aggressive ends. You could Nico as well if you so wished. What CS wants to go for. Sion is the top lane option for no reason. Sion, Braum, Shin Zhao. Brawling and skirmishing, good front to back. Great front line. I think Yunara potentially has a fairly... Yunara's done very well at EMEA Masters. Better than I thought she would, a lot of the net. However, I worry somewhat about how she stands and fights this game into all of this kind of quite annoying frontline for her. And Bessa, it's a match into the sign. You get shoved in early, you get Eclipse, and suddenly life becomes a lot better. It's a good dive pairing with the Alistair and the Wukong. You can follow up on the Syndra stun. Decent, good way of getting to the backline as well as you can get past the front line with your ult, which could be quite valuable. Heretics got more damage, slightly better scaling. Unicorns of Love, Sexy Edition, slightly better early skirmishing. Much better front line, and I would argue better front to back. Kaiser used to be, he used to be Mad Lions alongside Kazi. Kazi and Kaiser was your bot lane for when Mad Lions did very well initially. They were the Senna Wukong bot lane enjoyers, which incidentally, they picked up from a friend of mine who was a coach in ERL who that one first, allegedly. So the legend goes. Update my stream title. I'll munch a bit on this food while I get the opportunity. Barber's band. Oh. Why the Gwen ban? Because Trayson's a big Gwen enjoyer. And Gwen is decent to Sion. She does well in the tanks. Orky and Jins, I would have to go in. Like, she's quite enjoys the melee conversation she has to fight in. Douglas with Vitality, yes he was. Sheepy's still the coach of UOL? Yes he is, all these years later. Well, where we go?
To Summoner's Rift.
Unicorns of Love are going to want a decent early game here. They're ones with the Corki. They're the ones with the Braum Shins out. I think if you get like Wukong and Syndra stacking up, getting some good items, a bit harder for that front line to be as valuable as it once was. I still think Rin might have a tricky time here on the Yunara, but we'll see. I'm sorry for reading on stream, but like I am absolutely starving. Simply. Oh, okay. Heal for heal. Flash, Pulve. Oh, boy. Oh, not quite. They got it. Nice. And it's Rin that gets it as well. Costs you 3 flashes. You do get first blood. Oof. And the LCK term, engage Braum. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you've got... So, this game, it's not. Because you've got Shinzao and Sion and Orianna, you've actually got a fair amount of CC. It's just not, like... It's not Nautilus. Not Rel. You've got Sion ult and Q. You've got Shinzao going with 3 Talon Strike and the Shockwave on top of it. You've got Braum hopping to one of them. Like, you definitely do have CC and engaged tools, but it's a bit more conditional. It's a little bit harder to pull off. Yeah, it's not 100% reliable. Exactly. However, it's great when people like Wukong and Bessa and Alistair are diving into you. You have Otters over GSMC, okay. Heretics over you, Response of Love. Phantasma and FSK might be close. I haven't seen Phantasma enough recently to have a comment on that one. FMS beats Roten. Ooh, decent chunk. Some Robert. I mean, that's. I mean, I don't know. MF, FMS. The thing is, obviously, it's still really close one because obviously it's Ultra Liga 1 and 2 against each other, right? That's a fun one, actually. It's a fun one. And obviously, Zero Tenacity are the first seed. They did just beat. So we'll see. Headbutt away. Flash. Oh, hang on. Kaiser could pulverize with the Braum passive. Very nicely done, Unicorns of Love. Jump onto Rin, who is going to die. Yeah, double. Very clean. And that gets your Shinzao ahead, which is really important this game. Because you need him to be an additional threat in the backline to make the divers sweat. If you overdive and leave someone like Rin out to dry, the Shinzao could potentially be a consistent kill threat against that. That's important. And again, reminder, they blew flashes to make that play mid. So a little bit awkward. And it does help cut down the lead that was becoming a bit problematic. Bot. Then Vox only gets the assist, but hey, get what you can get. How many teams are in Swiss Stage? I think it's 32. Okay. 1, 2. 8 times 4, 32. Yep. Fair enough, Damakin. I hear your angle. I hear your angle. I still think it's very good to have the Shinzao getting kills. But I wouldn't complain too much about Shinzao getting a couple early kills. It really allows him to be a real menace early. Guys has to go and keep Rin alive, otherwise the passive comes on down. Do they want to cultivate their spirit? No, they don't. At least this one ain't looking one-sided. Yeah, that's true. We've had a lot of one-sided games today, guys. A lot of one-sided games. And the moment we say that, White returns to the scene of the crime. Rin is dead. Forky gets the kill this time. The moment we say it's not looking one-sided. The moment we say. Grayson. Probably going to plate here at least, but Yunara's topside already. So, you know what? Not bad rotation time in there from Heretics. Man, this is looking a little bit like what happened yesterday, you know. Heretics just a little bit slow on the board. I grant you yesterday was more about Douglas kind of getting it done in off those rotations rather than it being bot lane, but still. Do you think removing Corki's package was a useful thing to do? Yes, because you couldn't balance Corki while he had package. Package was way, way, way too good. I also think it allowed them to give power into Valkyrie, so they can make him a little bit shorter range. So they try to make him more of a knife fight champion, which I think they should go even harder on, honestly. I think he still gets to play a little bit too safe for my numbers, but I think so. I think Corki was basically unbalanced for where he was, and he was quite a frustrating play pattern with his kind of AP scaling effectively from AD, rocket spam, package for an insane teamfight art which would scale to get towards. I think package was cool. It was a really fun ability. It was, however, very challenging. I think if you wanted to have package in there, every time Corki did, because, okay, Corki with package, to be balanced, probably had to be as short range, if not shorter range than he is. But for that to happen, Corki would then have a horrific time when he didn't have package, because there's too much power budget in that empowered W. Which means the rest of his abilities have to be down to compensate, to kind of keep all champions at a relatively even power budget. Which basically means Corki's windows of power become insanely binary. So he'd be like the best champion on the Rift for roughly 20 seconds when he packages and goes diving in Valhalla style to the backline. And then for the next 3 to 4 minutes, he would be next to useless. And so you'd have these horrible, horrible play patterns with like, oh, yay, oh. And it just doesn't work with what they need to do to make it work. And so obviously, when he was kind of this binary between, actually, even between those windows of power, he was using the rockets as obscene poke. It just wasn't a particularly good play pattern. So they kind of went, well, we think the fantasy champion-wise of him diving in a bit more, using that Valkyrie aggressively and using the Gatling gun aggressively is more entertaining. And I think I largely agree. I much prefer watching Corki these days. Mercy. Okay, gets away with it. I wonder whether we might see a flash there from White. But no. Oh, the LCS thing. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, but anyway, those are my thoughts on Corki. Yes, so I think LCS should have 2 world slots, and I think the third should be played off for between CBLOL and LCS. Because the thing that was not a mistake about LTA was more cross-region play. I don't think they managed the schedule at all. Basically, people didn't play enough, and they didn't get much cross-conference play at all, and it was really awkward. So actually, you merged the 2 regions to play, like, 3 series together as split. Why? Which is, yeah, pointless. But I do actually think cross-regional play would have been really cool. I think there's an argument where you just combine the 2 and have it all move to Sao Paulo. I know, like, Monte Cristo was arguing for that, and I think I can see the wisdom. And again, this would have been a much more ironic conversation if VKS had won the damn thing. I mean, they still came second, and I think they did a decent-ish job. Especially because FlyQuest has just been so much better than everyone else in the region. However, I think now that we're going back, if you're going to keep some cross-regional play, which I think you should, I think CBLOL 2-3 should probably play off against regional qualifier style in the LPL versus LCS 3. Something like that. Or even something like CBLOL 2-3-4 versus LCS 3-4. And you have all of them playing a little tournament, cross-regional style. You go some cool city for a weekend, and you do a little tournament with everyone there. And it'll be a great time. Hey, Monkey, good to see you. I think it's a real travesty that CB LOL, having basically proved they're at a similar level to LCS in some ways, are going to lose a load of slots, having lost a load of teams and a year's worth of progress, having done a great job in 2024. It's very frustrating. And I think they can be... I can see why CB LOL fans would be very frustrated. Who's my favorite to win Worlds? Give me that LPL bias. I hate to say... Hang on, wait. Wait. Oh, nasty. Arc of Ruin. Good combo. 10 Vox, they did not get to play the game. Ooh, and you interrupt the back on the Braum as well. Very nice. I hate to say it, but it's Gen G. They're just so good. They're just so good. Yeah, outside of that, I think you're then probably looking at someone like... I mean... Your top 4 are probably going to be something like, on paper, Gen G and T1. Outside option of someone like an HLE. Whee, goodbye for no reason. For all that T1 fell down to the lower bracket, they're still the team that pushed Gen G the hardest. They still had the better split. One bad series does not a complete capitulation make. However, I think you're also then looking at, probably at this point, someone like BLG, someone like, and I say this with the greatest of trepidation, top esports, and they're a good team regionally. They're a great team regionally. Yeah, look, LPL teams around objectives have kind of sucked this year. We had 80 plus changes, not including coaches and staff, in the LPL. Teams have been really struggling with support jungle synergies. I think it did get better across playoffs again, but I am going to need to see some solid leveling up of going into Worlds, and that's possible. Teams are good enough, the players are good enough. But I think LPL are going to turn up to this tournament, and if they can't fist fight their way to a win, are going to throw at Atakan, because they still don't play Atakan very well, and they aren't setting up Dragons very consistently at all. Top esports have been good at that. However, you're then trusting Top esports international, so I have vague hopes for AL, but they need to step it up to pre-MSI hangover form. We'll see. KT with the DRX miracle run. That sounds like you're getting excited, my friend. And that's a dead Demvox now. Good comeback from Heretic so far. Was looking pretty over, but they're returning the early favor. Gen G versus BLG, best of 5. I think BLG can win. Look, I think Gen G are a bit of T1's kryptonite. I think BLG have a fairly decent matchup into Gen G. And that is because I think Knight is one of the very few players in the world who can mechanically joust with Chovy and come out on top. Not every time. I think Chovy's probably gotten the better of him the last time or so. But I think you've got to be very scary there. And I also think that, like, if the likes of Elkin On and Bin are going for the flips and winning them and getting ahead, Gen G aren't given the window to stall and manipulate the game the ways they want to. 2023, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Ooh. I wonder about this one. Barrier for barrier. Cool. Flash. Then Vox doesn't want to look for more. Ren flash. I think he had to flash. Otherwise that Rocket would have done him. Chovy's more choky lately. Honestly, I thought Chovy had a bad playoffs for his standards. As honestly did Canyon. I think they were very light on Cassante and Keen being a monster, and then Ruler and Duro just saying absolutely fucking not and winning regardless. But yeah, I was not that sold on Chovy. Okay. That said, much like with G2 winning LEC, if you're winning when Caps is still having a quiet series or a mediocre series, then you're in trouble. It's true of Chovy G. Can you really clean up the finals? Some of the games at least, yeah. And I still think Peanut had a pretty good series. I feel really bad for Peanut. A couple missed spikes in that last game were probably the difference. When's our next dragon? A few minutes yet. It's a very even game again. I was worried Unicorns of Love were gonna... Excuse me, guys. It's very rude of me. I was worried Unicorns of Love were gonna run away with it, and they have. T1, if they avoid Gen G, can go for the 3-peat. Yeah, I agree. I will not... Until I see T1 beat Gen G, I'm not going to trust they're going to beat Gen G. With the exception of a couple players around that bot lane, it has been relatively slow until now. Wait for T1 to beat IG. We're finally getting a rookie versus Faker best of 5. It's taken 11 years, guys. I believe this will be the 3rd series ever Faker and Rookie have played against each other. Something like that. Which is obscene to think about. Bye, Denver. Oh, I'm not going to lie. I came into this series going, yo, Den Voxner is my GOAT. And he's disappointing me here. I expected better from my GOAT. Those are some unfortunate deaths. Team Owen always finds the magic before Worlds every year. I think they've just got some they've got some bright lights players, you know? Who just play better the bigger the stage. Faker's big for that, right? Carrier to an extent too. Guma's been a rock on that front. You know, it's a good team for that. I worry more about Doran there, but I think Doran on the whole, after a weird start to the year, has largely become a very good top laner again. Dear Lord, let me see Poby versus Faker. That'd be great. That would be wonderful. Need Doran to die to Krugs again. Yeah, the Krug Lord cometh. Game is surprisingly equal so far. It is. It is. It does mean I think this is going to come down to an Atakan flip. Dragons. Feats of Strength of Unicorns of Loves. Though Corki was the recipient of a lot of the early attention, has now ended up in a 900 gold deficit. Which does suck. It has to be said. D1 versus LPL teams, best of 5 no loss. Yeah, it's there's the only exception basically is BLG, and BLG have taken games at the very least off them. But it's something like if your team doesn't have Bin and or Knight on it, you don't win games versus T1 as an LPL team. Hey, thank you for the cheer. Appreciate you. Yeah, someone put the stats up somewhere. Further, I just come to the 5v5. At this point, yes, I think you are running out of time to be a threat as Unicorns of Love Sexy Edition, probably. Your front line is slightly better. I think the damage is going to become very difficult for certain members to survive, and I think Corky's going to have a difficult time. Damn, LR lost today. Yeah, they did. It was kind of decisively so as well, actually. Bastard did a very good job. 113's Kiana was a bit of a menace. Bit of a menace. Ooh, decent. Yeah, still not the best. Not the best. Need to leave. And now your jungler's at 10% HP. You can do this. So is White. Oh, Rin. Nice angle. Scout of the week was really good from Mercy. In comes the Scion, though. Mercy flashes out. Flashed away from Simply. Tracing should probably get that one. Does. Douglas is still doing Atakan. I don't think you can solo this. I mean, you're Wukong, maybe with clones. Bit dicey. Little dicey. Getting like your resist ready. He's doing, you know what? He's getting away with it. And every time, for no reason, tries to come on over, Trace and goes, no, you don't. Missed the knockout. Yeah, so Corki's one of those champions who has a horrible win rate over time curve. The later the game gets, the less Corki wins. And that's partly because, again, he has to pick his moment to Valkyrie forwards very aggressively. And doing that at the wrong time is how you lose a game as an AD carry. See Kai's win rate over time. Well, there's Atacam. And Wukong just soloed Atakan at 20% HP. I've seen Atakan's murder people. Just enough sustain. Might end up being Dragon for it, but I think Heretics will be okay with that trade. They might come and contest regardless. They don't have a lot of control here. Okay, Hexgate over. Oh, nice idea. Can Unicorns of Love find their way out? Yeah, nice turnaround. Woo! Little bit late on the ult there, Kaiser. Decent stun back. Rin is very deep. Yeah, all out. All out public execution. Tracer needs to flash, gets knocked up. That's unfortunate. Yep. Diving into Unicorns of Love frontline can be quite menacing. Masu's 7-0 this year that way, is he? Damn, that's actually really good. On that one. I don't think I'd realised. Is that with the Corki? Thank you for the follow, Dodgy. Hang on, let's see if I can pronounce that correctly. Yeah, thank you. Oh gosh, I'm going to butcher this. Doikichiek. Doikichiek. Poek. Doikichiek or Choek? I have butchered that name horribly. Doikichiek. Eastern European long names with lots of weird C and K pronunciations always catch me out. I say weird. Weird for me. Very different. And I apologize for butchering your name. Nah, that's Elvish. Nani Hir Galad Mordor. About the only Elvish I ever learned. I am the Bright Lord of Mordor. Courtesy of Shadow of Mordor. Okay. Go to game. I had a lot of fun with it. You can see where a lot of other games started taking some ideas from it, right? Okay, close that out. Fine. Turret falls. The Unicorns of Love again. This is not a bad recovery. They're actually ahead slightly in gold. Does the Atacam make enough? How many petals? We don't know how many they got. 12 petals of Unicorns of Love. Can I see how many Heretics have got? Someone? Has anyone seen? Is there another Zitzi situation with them? It is a little bit. There's just someone in chat, to be fair. Right. Slightly. As a caster, not to put too fine a point, I am sorry about this chat, but the players tend to be slightly more important than you. A little bit. Armored advance. Still haven't seen a Heretics player know how many petals they've got. I would like to know. If Trayson oversteps this, he's going to be 1v2. Alright, you may need to public execution out of this. There's the Scion ult. Buffered out well by Trayson. TP's flying. Douglas also coming on down. Redemption keeps people topped up. Mercy needs to flash. Scout of the Weak is decent. I think this gets messy for Unicorns of Love Sexy Edition now. They're collapsing slower. Sears and Den Voxner coming on down. It will not be enough. Syndra says, unlimited power! And hits people in the face with a volleyball. Can't quite get the kill there on one more. Still. Ooh. Hey, good to see you, Naruto. I do indeed remember you. Though, for the record, I'm not actually Onivia. I am Initialise. I just work with Onivia. Part of which involves doing some co-streaming to his channel. Onivia is a lovely dude, but he does not look like me. But nonetheless, I do remember you, Naruto, Sasuke, Uchi. Then Voxne. Why are we looking at you? Look at that corgi butt! Woo! Got 2 items at least. The problem is on the other side. Look at this, Yunara! I feel like she could probably use a defensive item here. Being very greedy with it. Why is Ali not running Spellbook? I think because he wanted the ability to frontline and get out. Because I think that the thing is, this is anti-Braum tech, is what it is. That's a good kill onto the Orianna. That's a great kill onto the Orianna, actually. Especially before the dragon. This is anti-Braum tech, because it basically allows you to go in, combo, and run away before Braum passive stacks on you. Is the idea. I got to play League of Legends in my father's computer, so I used to sound it for the first time ever. How was it? Did you enjoy it? I know you were saying you wanted to give it a go. No, you said you wanted to give it a go. There goes the engage. Ren backs away. Oh, not a bad flash from Sion. Kai's going to body block for it. Actually gotten rid of a couple key people here. And with Jungler down and Baron up, if they get enough kills here, Unicorns can turn for Baron. Good flash. Rin's got a good angle. They kill the Syndra though. White gets to survive. Door comes up. Kaiser flashes and pushes head both away, but that's still going to be an ace. They can Baron. Oh dear. Oh dear. That's a bit problematic. That's a bit problematic. So. Was until Dragon. What can you get done off this? Wow, this has been back and forth. I'm excited for that. Mid took tier 2. Yeah, Tracer tried to take me tier 2. Didn't quite. Got close. Hextech Soul. Man, that is a ridiculous gold graph. Oh, Kaiser. Nice idea. They're onto the Braum, who's dead. That's not bad. Bit better. Oh, public execution. Then Vox survived, but he's not doing damage anymore. And Tracer still got the kill? Off what? Was it Raptors? Hang on, what got the kill there? Was it Raptors? It must have been. Or maybe Red Buff? Red Buff and Raptors? Support Santi, good fun. Wow. Okay, Unicorns are love. You lose even with a Baron, okay? I thought it was going to be quite close, but one fight goes wrong, as it has every time. It feels like we've been back and forth on that one quite a lot. Flash up in the Scout of the Week. White goes into the Crescent Guard. Kaiser's keeping the Orianna away. Pulverize away. Kaiser dies. They need to extract. Can't end the game. Bit too far, heretics. It was Raptors, thank you. Once again, big flip. Yep. Such an equal game. It really is. It really is. "30 seconds until Dragon. It would be soul point for either team. White goes looking. Things he uses Audacious Charge to get range. Adagas on a really good flank angle here. They're not seeing him at all. Oh, watch this. Oh, just spotted now. But is it too little too late? Because the Xin Zhao's not there, they can't frontline everywhere else so easily. Sion needs a bit of damage. Syndra's getting to the point where she's actually really hurting the Sion. Oh, Judgment. Oh, Trayson! Bloody hell, son! Okay, just enough energy to get out to safety. And now actually Unicorns will have ended up a little bit on the wrong side of the map here. Grayson still threatening with a flank angle, still threatening with a public execution. Still held onto his flash, actually. Lock in, folks. White's in the pit. It's a smite fight. Down to 2k HP. Taken by the Wukong. Douglas wins it. Good turnaround as they get to the backside. Mercy just about surviving for a second or two longer. The Crescent Guard goes down. Trayson onto them Vox. They finally exhausted, but not before half the damage is done. And Syndra gets the double. There's the public execution. Trayson going to start dancing around, and Dracount stepping. A triple kill for Mercy, who scatters them, for they are far too weak. No mercy to be found, and the game ends with the death of the team at Baron. Team Dragon, but the point still stands. Unicorns of Love, however, certainly do not. Their Nexus turrets will fall, and Heretics will claim the win here, evening up themselves up at 1-1, whereas Unicorns of Love Sexy Edition raise an eyebrow and realize they're now at 0-2. That was something. Let's have a look at that post-game graph. Says. There we go. Trayson, what a game. Very good stuff from him. Again, he was hitting Sion a lot and Braum a lot. But him and Rin did a lot of damage. The squishier comp from Heretics, so they're obviously going to have slightly lower damage numbers sometimes, just the way it is. But there you go. Very wild gold graph. Let's move that around. That is a gold graph of all time. Bloody hell. LPL wishes. TPS Aline. TSMC vs OTS. Is the way it is. There you go. Okay. No idea what the draw is. Let's have a quick. We'll have a quick gander around the other streams, shall we? See where things are at. I don't think I'll stay on too much longer, guys. I'm not going to lie. Who do I want to see? Fantastic, probably. How they're doing. Not seen them yet. And we go into Oblivion. Woo! Their audio. There it is. Yeah, OTS doing really well here. I think it might be looking over. Bayonetta. What a top laner name. T1 versus IG, 17. Is it that early? Bloody hell. I say, I don't think it will be. I say, we're in September 30th, October 17th, maybe. I think that's over. Yup. Icebreaker is broken. Creepano gets away. They can't quite finish it. Jin. Ooh. Tsiparakos tries and does get the shot down for the Jin. Silk is Silky. That's now surely a dead. Okay. I wonder whether the LeBlanc might go for a little bit more. Can't quite. Wait, LR lost? They lost today. They did. They did. Decisively so as well, actually. LL lost, but wow, with the lower bracket is their best thing. Yeah, true. True. The lower bracket buff incoming. Where do you watch all these multiple streams? Co-streamers get access to the clean feeds. So I have the ability to hop between them. Unfortunately, I can't give those out. That's not for me to do. They are private codes for this stuff. But it does mean that while we're between games, I can sometimes have a bit of a hop around and see what's going on, which is kind of nice. Superakos gets to the side. This would be Soul for Otters, and they've got a Cho'Gath with Feast. I think this is a really hard fight. Rupture wide. Just turn to this and just smite at 2k. Done. And they get the stack for the Cho'Gath. That's Mountain Soul into a LeBlanc who's gone Storm Surge and Shadow Flame. Superakos is going to do nothing into this squad anymore. I mean, does Shadow Flame still have its anti-shield passive? Or is it just the crit now? Because once upon a time, I had a thing where it did more damage if someone had just been shielded. Cho'Gath is quite tanky. I am not as anti-Jhin as you are, but that's also because I've seen a lot of very good hyper carry Jhin. Like, it's just when you... So, because I had this conversation yesterday. I'm not sure we actually finished it properly. But Jhin is... two things, sort of. He is good early laner with good combos for good burst. You actually, for all, you're not necessarily always lane prio. You have very good combos with a lot of supports to get big chunks onto people with all your CC and burst up. You're quite safe with the captive audiences. So you're a surprisingly good laner. You were one of the better matchups into Varus with how you traded, and he didn't like that very much, which was a big deal. And with that comes a lot of utility. So you bring a lot of pick, a lot of safety, a lot of range, especially if you're trying to play elsewhere on the map, and that's a big deal because it allows your support to leave and do cool things. You are also a late game damage threat, but it's at 4 items, not 3. Or if it is at 3 items, it's 3 items at level 16. Because basically, Jhin, people forget Jhin has a second passive. And Jin's second passive gives him about 1,000 bonus AD at level 18. Because he scales off AD, or is it bonus AD, crit, and levels. Which can give an obscene amount of extra AD. Shadow Flame's crit replaces the shield passive thing. That makes sense. So Jhin at 4 items, like here, especially once he hits 100% crit. Remember, basically, his crit, he gets lower value crits because he gets them consistently. However, what his crits get in trade is an insane amount of extra AD. Plus, he's now level 17. Let me go find out the numbers exactly. He actually gets... the reason late game Jhin starts munching through tanks and stuff all of a sudden is basically there is a break point in terms of number of items versus crit versus AD versus level, where he starts doing a lot of stuff. So at this point, this Jhin will really hurt. And people just never remember about it. Well, it's Whisper. He gets bonus attack damage equal to... Basically, at level 18, he gets 44% bonus attack damage, plus an additional 35% if he's at 100% crit, plus 1% for his bonus attack speed. So another 3% for bonus attack speed. So you do like 100 attack speed, you're getting another 30%. So he's on something like 50%, 50% plus 4, what is he, level 17? Yeah, he's level 18 now. So that's like, he's getting like 70 to 85% extra bonus AD at this point. Which is a lot of AD when you've already got that much behind you. Like, it's a surprising amount. There's a reason we've seen some late game gyms do disgusting things. He also gets the most OP stat with each crit. Yeah, exactly. Move speed. Exactly. Between that and captive audiences, like, Jhin is surprisingly good at this point in the game. The issue basically is, though, that they have got to send people back to deal with this. And it might be too little too late, because, like, Kaiser at this point is also a bit of a menace, right? And you'll never be able to contest objectives when the Baron's down. The problem is Jin that's behind, who's gone utility builds at 20 minutes, does nothing, right? You've got a W pick, but you alone do nothing. Like Ghostblade Rapid Fire Cannon from even or behind, you do no damage. You really, really need 3 to 4 items. And that is a problematic trough to be in, especially when... oh, backline's pretty rough. Alright. Oh, just about survives on the Wukong. Icebreaker's trying. They get the kill on the Kaiser. That's not bad, Superacos. Nikias, I think this curtain call's sting. No, it's not. I take it back. They do nothing. Good God, the tank is ridiculous at this point. Yeah, there's a shutdown. I think this Jin's about to start rolling through people. Good. Engage. But it doesn't matter. That's not bad. I thought the curtain call was going to do a lot more, and then went, oh yeah, it's missing HP damage, and they've got Mountain Soul and a lot of tank items. I take it back. I think at this point, though, it might be a bit tougher. Woo! Beast! How much HP were you on? Bloody hell. Well, they hold on. It's 30 seconds until Elder and your mid-jungle AD carry are dead. That might be... and I hate to say it, that might be Elder. Phantasma cleaned out the game versus FSK. Okay, cool. I meant to go look at Phantasma. I ended up on this one instead, which I'm kind of happy about. It's a fun game so far.
What do you want?
Oh. Oh. Dead survives. Man, Bayonetta's tanky. Mountain Soul Cho'Gath. Oh my god. 4,000 HP down, 4,000 more to go. Curtains are cool. They're going to get Elder off. Oh my god. Not a bad attempt there from Pallet. Doesn't matter. The issue is basically this Cho'Gath won't die. Not without a lot of concerted effort. And now with Elder, it should be over. I give credit to GSMC for holding on as long as they did. Purely in LCK, I haven't seen the biggest impact there. That's fair. He's been much better in LPL, but I think LPL also has some really, really aggressive gym players. Like Gala and Jackie Love have been monsters on him. I saw some... there was some ridiculous Jackie Love carrying, particularly in winter, where Top Esports did some miracle work with Jin. It's not over yet? Guys? Surely you just end it here, right? I think Breaker needs to go heal as well before he burns down too low. Ooh, knock up. Yeah, he's dead. Sequoia's gone. Goodbye. Elder Dragon just screams in your face a few times. Goodbye. That's it. GG. Pallet will run away. But this ain't his town anymore. Oak ain't his professor. And OTS will win this game. And sure, they find themselves that all-important win here. I have it. I'm going to call it here. We'll be back tomorrow. Once we know what the schedule is, I'll let you guys know, and we'll make sure we cover some more games. If we can, we'll be covering Verdun and Lost Ratones. So while they end up drawing against each other, which could be quite good fun. But until that time, have to wait and see. For now, guys, have a wonderful rest of your evenings, days, mornings, wherever you are around the globe. And for now, good night and goodbye.